everybody. How you doing? Happy Wednesday. Middle of the week. How's everybody doing? Hope you're all well. Let me say hi to some folks. Hey, Shalima. Hey, Amelia. Molson Man, my cool cats and kittens. How you doing? I had a great Mother's Day. Thank you. Sarah, how you doing? DTC Primetime, good to see you. Lorraine, sorry, I can't read. Lorraine Webb, good to see you. Wow. Okay. How are we making it through this week of no trial testimony? Y'all hanging in there? Y'all doing all right? I hope so. I do. So this morning, when I went live, I covered and I'm going to continue doing that tonight, but I did a couple of key trial moments, testimony moments. Hey, Coolest Reviews, up? And so I played the Johnny Depp's agent, but then I played Mr. Doherty. He represented the ACLU. Okay. And what was interesting about his testimony is that, in case you guys missed it, I'm not going to play it tonight, but there's you can watch it, just his testimony, if you want to. There's a ton of channels that have it. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm sorry that you're having a hard time, Sarah, but I'm glad I could help a little bit by going live today. But anyway, what was interesting about his testimony is a few things. One of them was that he made it very clear through, and he testified for Johnny Depp. Okay, but he made it very clear that Amber Heard was integral in the op-ed process, writing the op-ed process, and so were her lawyers. Okay, the only thing that she had no control over and no say over were the titles, because there were two different titles for the op-ed. There was the online title, and then there was the paper publication, that title. So, but really, I don't know why Elaine is focusing so much on the title, because the title is not the issue. For one thing, what they did with the title, it appears, especially, well, I know specifically because I haven't really looked at the title that was in the actual hard copy version of the Washington Post. But so how they came up with the title for the one that was online was essentially they took the first line from the first paragraph of the op-ed article, and then they put it with the last line of the second paragraph of the op-ed, and it is not a direct quote. So the truth is that it'd be a little different if it were a direct quote, but it's not. But Amber didn't have, nor her team, none of them had any control over the title. Okay. But what he also testified to is that, hey, Shmina, is that he, in his capacity with the ACLU and Amber Heard and her team, there were a couple of different drafts of this op-ed article. And when Johnny Depp and Amber Heard divorced in 2017, they each signed an NDA. Okay, so they are not going to discuss the details of their marriage, and they're not going to discuss, they weren't supposed to discuss the details of the divorce settlement, which Amber Heard violated when she publicly announced that she was awarded $7 million in her divorce settlement, and that she was going to split that $7 million in half between two different charities, one of them being the ACLU, which is what prompted Johnny Depp then to send the first payment of the divorce settlement. Instead of sending it directly to Amber, he sent it to one of the charities. Okay. So Hey, Aussie girl Jen. Hey, Jody, it's cool. Good to see you. All right. So but the most important thing I think that he testified to was the fact that um, Johnny Depp's name was originally in the piece that Amber wrote. Okay. But when it got over to her team to be reviewed, her lawyer said, no, ma'am, you cannot have his name in there. Okay. And there was an email exchange between the ACLU and Amber Heard's team where they discussed um, basically an artful way for for people to know that the article was about Johnny Depp without saying Johnny Depp's name. And see, that's important because when you break it all down to brass tacks, at the core issue of this trial is that op-ed article. Okay. Did Amber Heard defame Johnny Depp when she wrote the op-ed article? Well, the first part of that, you have to prove that Amber Heard wrote the article about Johnny Depp, even though she did not explicitly say his name, right? Which that's why they brought in Mr. Doherty to talk, because he was part of that process for the ACLU. And the second thing that you have to prove, or Johnny Depp would have to prove, is that the contents of the op-ed article are a lie. Okay, which that's why he is testifying the way that he is, and he's also had a ton of people that are testifying that they never saw bruises on Amber Heard ever, and let alone on the date that she actually went and got the restraining order against him, the temporary restraining order against him back in 2016. And then the third element to defamation is that Johnny Depp suffered a loss of income due to the lies in this op-ed article. So that's why they had his agent testify that he lost Pirates of the Caribbean 6 because of the op-ed article. So those were really important key points. And we were talking about it today, that what's gotten lost in all of the testimony, both by Johnny Depp and by Amber Heard, because it's so sensational, right? That we're talking, I mean, look, I'm a human. The jury is human. We're all human. And when she busted out saying that Johnny Depp has a jar, and that's how she said it, a jar of cocaine, we all had a reaction. I mean, who wouldn't? You know, like, who lives like that? Who has jars of cocaine? That ain't cheap. Okay. So anyway, so that's important, right? Because that's the thing that the jury is going to have to decide in order to um, find for Johnny Depp in this case, right? They have to find those three elements, and that's why I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the stuff that actually relates really to what the core issue of the trial is, because I'm concerned, and I think a lot of people are concerned, but I have faith that the jury is getting lost in the details of the testimony of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. However, they do get a rebuttal, both sides. So what I'm really, really hopeful for is that on the rebuttal, that Johnny Depp's team is going to bring it back around to this op-ed, because that's what the jury is going to be instructed about. Okay. So then the other thing that we talked about was that, hey, Cement Shoes, good to see ya. Sorry, I'm looking off in the distance and I'm not even watching chat. I'm so sorry. I'm just rambling on. I'm telling you, Molson man, I'd be so organized, y'all wouldn't believe it. I'd be putting out content on the hour. Hey, Criminality, good to see you, babe. Okay, I'm sure that I think you will. Criminality. Now, I hadn't heard that quite yet because I was actually more probing into this situation of Amber Heard's testimony on Friday, where she mentions Kate Moss. Okay. So the allegation is that, and it doesn't come from Kate Moss. I'm not exactly sure because nobody really will say. They just say the allegation. Okay. So the allegation is back in 1996, when Kate Moss and Johnny Depp were together, they trashed a hotel room. Johnny Depp was charged with I can't it's some misdemeanor, like, basically creating a ruckus. And then he paid for the damages to the hotel room. But the allegation is that he threw Kate Moss down the stairs. Okay. So when Amber Heard was testifying about the incident between Johnny Depp, and her sister Whitney, and she brought up the Kate Moss incident, and that's pretty close to how she put it, right? What she did was she opened the door for testimony about their past behaviors. See, unlike a criminal trial, right? A civil trial, you cannot introduce evidence of somebody's activity prior to a specific incident. So they cannot talk about, like Johnny Depp cannot talk about Amber Heard's domestic violence arrest, right? And she cannot talk about, she wasn't supposed to be able to talk about the allegation that he threw Kate Moss down the stairs, okay? Because it's prejudicial, and it's the level of the burden of proof and the rules are different in a civil trial versus a criminal trial. In a criminal trial, you definitely would want you to be able to show a pattern of behavior, right? So that's why they allow that, but they don't allow it in a civil trial. So I watched something on Law and Crime today that they were talking about it, and they were basically saying what I had said this morning. And then, I mean, it's not like what I said is so earth shattering. I'm not, I think that's pretty much everybody's consensus what that means, right? But I found that interesting. And what I found more interesting than that is that one of the reporters that was talking about it, she said that because they were talking about the possibility of Kate Moss taking the stand, and she said that she had reached out to Kate Moss repeatedly. Hey, Christine, and Christine. Christine didn't get back to her. Kate Moss wouldn't get back to her. And she was wondering if perhaps the reason she wasn't getting back to her is because she is going to be taking the stand or expects to be called. Okay. So there is that. Hey, Heather, whatever. So yeah. Oh, I like your new name, Christine G. That's me. So, that's what's going on there. So then I wanted to go over a few more of the key witness testimony, but this time it's not going to be so like, um, because today's testimony was kind of dry, right? And I think that's why people have forgotten about it. But understanding the definition of defamation, right? And what the burden of proof is on Johnny Depp's um, side, that's like important. You know what I mean? And because I can't, normally I'm more confident by this point in a trial where how the jury is going to go, right? But because this is not a criminal trial, it's a civil trial. The rules are different, the burden of proof is different, and obviously the definitions of defamation are going to be very, very important. And I want people to understand, if the jury does not find for Johnny Depp, potentially why that could be. And I'm like I said, I'm a little bit concerned because I mean the jury is regular people like us, right? And so if we are all talking about the sensational testimony that's been given by Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, chances are that's exactly what the jury is thinking about. I mean, all of us can recall quite a bit of lines from Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's testimony, no problem. Well, this morning, I had just stopped playing Mr. Doherty's, and I can't even remember what his first name is, Mr. Doherty's testimony, and I couldn't remember after, talking about something else for 5 seconds, whether their agenda was the Congress or the Senate, which I had to go look because it was so that I'm worried that the jury is going to be like me, and hopefully they took really good notes. Um, but you know what I mean? Because some of the stuff that's come out during the testimony has been just like jaw dropping. It's a lot. All right, let's see. There was something I wanted to play that I caught earlier today that I thought, all right, well, let's just start here because this is a little levity for us. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm just going to play it and then we will talk about it. Just give me a second while it loads. All right, hold on. Let me do the share screen thing. And I do want to do open panel too tonight because I really want to hear what you guys are thinking and what you have to say and what your opinions are thus far. So let me I'll play this and then I'll I'm just gonna do this now. There's a trigger warning. If you don't wanna if you're eating or whatever, probably don't be eating right now or maybe mute it. Hold on just one second. Cement shoes and I'll look. Let's see. It's hard for me to see it because it's little on here. Hold on. I do like your avatar. I like it very much. Hey, Paula Walking. Well, Sarah, here's the thing, okay? If they were to find in favor of Amber Heard, all right? Um, it in my opinion, it would be not because they believe her, right? But more because there wasn't enough evidence presented about the op-ed article. See, that's the core issue. And the frustrating part of it is that in order for them to prove that the op-ed article is a lie, because that's one of the elements, the probably one of the most important elements, right? They have to prove that Amber Heard is not a victim of abuse. And so in order for them to do that, that's why Johnny Depp had to take the stand and he had to talk about, his perception of and what he recalled their relationship being like. And then of course, cross-exam, which was also sensational because they tried to trip him up, which was their job. Okay. Then you have on the other side of that, Amber Heard has to prove that she is telling the truth, that the element of the op-ed article being a lie does not exist. So now she's going to have to get up there and tell her side of the story. And I really don't think that it's going to be, if the jury finds for Amber Heard, I don't think it's going to be because they believe Amber Heard. I think it's going to be because there wasn't enough evidence presented that proves that the op-ed article was in fact defamatory and met all three of the elements. Do you know what I mean? I feel like that's really what the issue is going to be. And I think for Johnny Depp, at the end of the day, this isn't really about money. First of all, he's suing Amber for $50 million. Now, if the jury were to find for Johnny Depp, right, it doesn't mean that they would award him the $50 million. They could award him less and they could award him more. But at the end of the day, let's just say they straight just awarded him what he's suing for, which is $50,000, right? Or 50 mil, what is it? 50 million, right? Right? Yes. Okay. 50 million. Sorry. She doesn't have it. And the truth is if they find for her, that's going to be probably the final nail in the coffin for her career. So her earning potential is gone significantly down. At the beginning of this trial, she was supposed to be worth $10 million. We're halfway through and she's down to 8 million. Okay. That's a significant drop. Okay. So it's obviously not about money for Johnny Depp. In my opinion, I think he really did this because he wanted to clear his name more than anything else in the public, and for his children. They're old enough. They're older now. They're adults. These are hard things. They're probably hearing some things that are probably making them uncomfortable. Shit, I'm uncomfortable with it, and I'm not, related to either one of them. So I think that it is what it is with that. She doesn't have 50 million at all. No, not only does she not have 50 million, right? She's not got the earning after if they find for Johnny Depp, her earning potential is decreased significantly. So it would be difficult for her to even even be able to be on like make payment arrangements. Okay, let's see. They can both lose, but AH has no evidence of either domestic violence or SV, which she indirectly defamed Johnny Depp of in the op-ed. I think Johnny Depp will win with a smaller damages awarded. Johnny Depp finally got his truth out there. I agree. I think that's exactly what the point of this lawsuit was. It wasn't about money for him. For her, it is. That's why she said, "Oh, no, I'll see your 50 million and raise you $100 million." So yeah. Yeah. So, okay, let me play this real quick and then I'll drop the link and we can discuss not this specific clip, just all things.
Twice. Mr. Jenkins, turning your attention to April 21st, 2016, can you tell the jury what you recall about that day?
Could you repeat the question, sir?
Sure. So turning your attention to April 21st, 2016, can you tell the jury what you recall about that day?
It was the birthday party being held at the penthouse.
And when you say the penthouse, what are you referring to?
It's the Eastern Columbia building.
And what were you doing that evening?
That evening, I was assigned security on the detail.
Were you inside the residence while the birthday party was taking place?
I was in the CP, the command post that's stationed on the same floor, right outside of the elevator.
And did you interact with Ms. Hurd at all that evening?
Yes, I did. In regards to getting her clients keys, parking, making sure no one else was on the floor that wasn't invited to the party.
Were there any issues at the birthday party at the time that you were present at the penthouses?
No issues except for the boss did not show up.
And do you recall what time you left that day?
11:15 p.m. that evening.
And Mr. Jenkins, what happened the next day, April 22nd, 2016?
I arrived early, 10:45. Went upstairs to the penthouse. I was informed by Amber that she got in a fight with Johnny last night. She threw his personal property over the balcony into the streets, 9th and Broadway.
And when you say personal property, what are you referring to?
His phone, wallet, credit cards, passports, everything that's in his wallet.
Did Ms. Heard say anything else to you about this altercation?
Nothing except they were fighting.
So what did you do after Ms. Heard informed you that she had thrown Mr. Depp's personal property off the balcony?
Formulated a plan with Norm from the office to use the Find My Phone app, hit the streets, and try to get lucky.
Did you end up finding Mr. Depp's phone?
Yes, I did.
It's possible, cement shoes, but not likely.
And who had the phone?
A homeless gentleman, unhoused gentleman. I approached him about the phone. He was honest. He returned it. I gave him a reward for it.
And what was the reward?
$420, chicken tacos, chips, apples, Fiji water.
After finding Mr. Depp's phone, what did you do?
I returned to the penthouse, showed the phone to Amber that I retrieved it. I left it in the CP for the evening security to return it to Mr. Depp.
So after figuring out things with the phone, what happened next?
What happened next is I walked Amber to the car. We got everybody in the car. She's on her way to Coachella. I went back to the penthouse to retrieve the dogs and the luggage.
Were you also going to Coachella with Ms. Heard?
Yes, I was. I was the transportation for Amber and her friends while she was at Coachella.
So how did you get to Coachella?
Drove the SUV provided by Johnny, put the animals and all the luggage in, and headed out to the venue.
And the morning of April 22nd, did you see any injuries on Ms. Heard?
No marks, no injuries.
And so driving out to Coachella, did anyone drive with you?
I was in the car alone except for the animals.
And how did Ms. Heard get to Coachella?
She drove a Mustang.
Was anyone else in her car?
She was with, I believe, her sister and one other friend, her assistant, Savannah.
And do you know how many days Ms. Heard and her friends were planning to stay at Coachella?
So the following Monday, I believe it's the 25th of April, we departed.
And do you recall where Ms. Heard was staying at Coachella?
We're staying at the Parker boutique hotels there in Palm Springs, outside of Coachella.
Oh,
Were
wow.
you also
Not
staying at the Parker
intense
Hotel?
like the peons.
I also stayed there
And so did you attend Coachella for work or for pleasure?
for work.
And what was your job that weekend?
Provide security and transportation, animal care, Amber's rolling assistant, take care of her, whatever she needed while she was there at the Parker or in out traveling.
Do you recall what time approximately you arrived at the Parker Hotel on
This is
April
not the
22nd?
part I wanted. This was not.
Around 5:30.
I'm speeding him up, y'all.
And what did Ms. Heard and her friends do that evening, April 22nd?
That evening, we arrived.
I
We
would.
assigned the rooms. We went with the staff of the Parker Hotel around to the suites where we were staying. They let us in. We let all the luggage in, and we proceeded to plan for that evening to depart by 7:15 is to get to the festival there.
And how did Ms. Heard and her friends get from the hotel to the festival that evening?
I drove them directly to them.
And did you have any discussions with Ms.
Oh,
Heard on the way to
no.
Coachella that evening?
We had a conversation pertaining to the surprise she left in the boss's bed prior to leaving the apartment.
And when you refer to the surprise in the boss's bed, what are you referring to?
The defecation,
And what did Ms. Heard say about the defecation in Mr. Depp's bed?
a horrible practical joke gone wrong.
Mr. Jenkins,
That's
what
all I wanted
observations
to
did you
play.
make about Ms. Heard at Coachella in April 2006?
A horrible practical joke gone wrong. How how would that joke go correctly? I'm curious. Maybe we should just have some fun tonight, and I dropped the link. I've pinned it. You guys that weren't in there this morning, you guys want to see my new overlay? Just in case. Watch this. Oh wait, that's not the right. I have to scroll back up. My bad. That's my new overlay. So I don't get no bombs. Bombers. Yep. So, yeah, let's have a little fun tonight, you guys. Let's not be serious. Hold on. Let me just do a quick search. Hold on. Let me do it here. I didn't mean to do it there. Let's see what other people find funny around the internet. Let's see. Wait, there's another one I wanted to look up. Hold on. Let's see. There was one I saw earlier. Well, here we go. Let's play this one. 7 times Amber Heard lied under oath and got caught. All right, hold on. Let's try this one. This one's a quickie. Hold on. Just have a little fun tonight. I just can't. I don't know. I'm just not feeling like having like a deep. I don't know what's wrong with me today. All right. Let's watch this.
That she has not donated $3.5 million as of today to the ACLU, true?
That's right.
When you say that Mr. Depp, our client, donated $100,000 to be credited toward Amber Heard, did the ACLU in fact credit that $100,000 toward the $3.5 million Ms. Heard promised to donate to the ACLU?
We do credit it.
Did Ms. Heard direct you to credit it to her account, as it were?
We asked Ms. Heard if we should credit it, and she said that we should.
Can you generally describe for us what you remember about the marks you saw on Mr. Depp?
Yes. What I noticed straight away was most of these marks and most of these things through my training, it's happening in the left-hand side of his face. And it would be scratches on his neck, maybe a fat lip in the corner, maybe a bruising on the eye socket. And it was getting more regular. As I say, not every week, but it was definitely happening, yeah. If you look at that picture, like I said, on the left-hand side under his eye, there's a swelling. And you see a swelling just on the left-hand side of his nose and under his left eye.
And what do you interpret that swelling to be?
So what do I interpret it as? That's either he's walked into a door or a door's walked into him.
Mr. Rottenborn played a clip from an audio recording where Miss Heard told you that you vomit in your sleep a lot. Do you remember that recording?
Yes, I do.
And what's your response to that?
When someone tells you that you vomit, she didn't tell me. I heard it in court. When someone brings up the fact that you vomit in your sleep every night, and well, first I think you'd be aware of it, and also I think the first thing that I would do is seek medical attention. It didn't exist. I'd never vomited in my sleep every night.
While it may seem basic to hear at first, the case that is going on with Amber Heard and Johnny Depp in this particular instance, the defamation case that has been going on for over 2 weeks now, is very much one of truth and lies. To be more specific, Johnny Depp is trying to prove once and for all that Amber Heard has lied to the world at large about the accusations of abuse that she's had tied to him. As of right now, there is no verdict that can be rendered for various reasons. That being said, what has been said both during this trial and previous ones, the UK libel case, proves that she has lied to lawyers and others. We'll break it down for you, but before we do that, go ahead and do us a favor by leaving a like on the video, subscribing to the channel, and hitting the bell icon so you never miss an upload from us. And with that being said, let's get straight into the video. You might recall that a lot of key incidents between Amber Heard and Johnny Depp focus on certain points in time. One of those key incidents was that of them in Australia when Depp was filming Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. But you might have forgotten that there was another major incident that happened there that dealt with Heard sneaking in her dogs into the country, which was an illegal act, an act that got both her and Depp in trouble, even though Depp was rumored to not even know about what happened until it all fell apart. Naturally, Heard denied her part in this, but she later made posts making jokes about her smuggling them in, including, quote, "Some old habits die hard." While in court in London, it was revealed by Kevin Murphy and Kate James that she knew she wasn't allowed to bring the dogs with her and did it anyway, going so far as to threaten Kevin's job. Kevin even admitted to perjury in the London court. She also claimed to have gotten another dog via a rescue that she called Hadja. If you don't know, that's Arabic in nature. After the dog chewed on one of her scarves, she called the dog, quote, "a little terrorist." Where's the dog now? We don't know, as the dog was never seen again, which says quite a bit about Amber Heard in the eyes of many.
You little terrorist.
Easily one of the biggest things that Amber Heard has tried to convey is the fact that she is a non-violent person, except if we take Johnny Depp out of the equation, that can be proven false rather easily. Not the least of which is because she was in a previous relationship with a woman named Tasia Van Ree, and it's been noted by many that she was abusive to Tasia in that relationship, so much so that a police officer came and arrested Heard for hitting her partner. Well, that is a crime, the overall isn't a lie, right? Well, except she claimed that the police officer was homophobic and despised her because she was dating a woman. A terrible thing if it was true, but guess what? The police officer was a lesbian. Amber Heard is bisexual, and was even an advocate for the LGBTQ+ community. So that blew up right in Amber's face. If you're wondering why this previous action wasn't brought up in Johnny's case, it might be, but the reason it's not more famous is because she got 2 years of probation for it. There are even rumors that Heard had her legal team erase those previous domestic AB allegations. Let you think that her AB nature was only tied to her more personal relationships. Her former assistant and Kate James had many things to say about her former employee. Furthermore, she was Heard's assistant during the time of the relationship with Depp.
She felt that gave her the right to spit in my face. And there was a witness in the apartment at that time, by the way. The handyman, Hector Galindo, he was so mortified. He was so embarrassed to hear her speaking to me like that.
In the defamation case that is currently going on, she had plenty to say. Her mother was terrified of her. James recalled, her poor sister was treated like a dog that you kick. Heard, she said, would bombard her with text messages, sometimes beginning as early as 2 a.m. During one confrontation over James's salary, Heard allegedly went berserk. She leapt up out of her chair, put her face approximately 4 inches from my face. She was spitting in my face, telling me, "How dare you ask me for the salary you're asking for," recalled the ex-staffer, who was later fired. Apparently, Heard also used James's son as a prop to try and convey a maternal side to the media and to Johnny himself. Arguably the biggest lie in regards to her AB tendencies, though, is not surprisingly the one that has to do with what she did and didn't do with Johnny Depp. Because throughout this whole case, the one thing that Amber Heard has done, all she could do enforce, is that she's never been AB to Johnny Depp. And yet between witness testimonies and the audio clips that have been played for the court to listen to, we know that's a lie, including one clip that Johnny Depp has been trying to get played in court for years. It's a recording of them in an argument after a key fight in their relationship, and Amber very clearly says that she hit Johnny but didn't punch him. She even tries to enforce that she hit him multiple times but never punched him, and even explained the difference between the two.
I said to Travis, I said to you, hey, tell Travis what just happened.
Oh, you told me to do it. You told me to just go do that.
I said, no, tell him what just happened.
All right, why?
You punched me in the thing.
You figured it out.
And you said, and I watched you lie. And then
I didn't punch you, by the way. I'm sorry that I didn't hit you across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you. I was not punching you. Babe, you're not punched.
Don't tell me what it feels like to be punched.
You know, even a lot of fights been around a long time. You know.
No,
You didn't get punched. You got hit. I'm sorry I hit you like this, but I did not punch you. I did not deck you. I was hitting you. I don't know what the motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you. What am I supposed to do?
Damn, that's bad.
I'm not sitting here thinking about it, am I? You are. That's the difference between me and you. You're a baby. You are such a baby. Grow the up, Johnny. I did start a physical fight. Because, yes, you did. So you did the right thing, the big thing. You know what? You are admirable.
She also went on to note that she started the fight against Depp that resulted in the beating, and when he tried to call her out about it, she called him a baby. Other witnesses recall Heard basically stalking Depp at times and being near hysterical when she tried to get him to do what she wanted. Depp's own security guard took pictures of Depp after he was allegedly hurt by Amber, and the list goes on. So if she never hurt Depp, that's a lot of people lying, saying that she did. Another one of the most important elements of Amber Heard's claims and testimony is that she was bruised constantly by Depp and showed them off to friends, family, everyone. But if you actually ask those people, most won't say they saw bruising, including a doctor that treated both Depp and Heard, Heard's former assistant that we talked about earlier, a neighbor who Heard had a good relationship with, and more. In fact, just about everyone who has testified so far has noted that Johnny and Amber did get into verbal fights with one another all the time, but none ever saw Amber Heard get physically struck by Depp. Now, yes,
And that's the important element. All right, hold on. I found something else I want to say what this is about. Let's watch. Hold on. Here we go. Let's play the funny TikToks about Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard. Shall we? I think we should, because let me say this. TikTok has not let up on this woman. Ah, cripes. I pushed the wrong button. Hold on. Wait, hold on. All right, hold on. All right. I always forget that I have autoplay on, and I need to fix that because it automatically starts playing. So rude when I'm not even ready. But anyway, TikTok has been merciless. All right, so let's see. Funny TikToks about Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard. Here we go. Oh,
Eggs,
that's not working. Hold on.
bacon,
Okay,
and
try it again.
scrambled eggs, bacon.
How am I way back? Sorry.
Aquaman.
You gonna
I don't listen to Taylor Swift. I don't absorb any of her media. I have no idea what happened between her and Jake Gyllenhaal.
But if I ever see that cheeky motherfucker.
I was walking out of the bedroom, slapped me across the face. I turned to look at him, and I said, "Johnny, you hit me."
What? This place is crazy.
Man, I know this might be a bad time right now, but you owe me $32,000 in legal fees.
Something takes
Thank you, Your Honor. Will you please state your name?
Yes, it's Amber Laura Heard.
And what is your address?
I live in Yucca Valley, California.
And how old are you, Amber?
I am 36. I just celebrated.
Okay. And do you have a daughter?
I do. She also celebrated her birthday recently. She's 1.
And what is your profession?
And you fucking promised you wouldn't hurt me, and you lied. And I thought you wouldn't do that. And I thought someone genuinely cared about me, and I was wrong.
It was beautiful. It was just
Scripted.
Objection. You know, there'd be this big SUV pull up. Did it do for your
Waiting for the
birthday?
script to end.
The talking became less.
Relevant.
You know,
Aquaman.
Something's in my ass.
And I was like, in fact, you are the one who is an asshole.
Wait, you don't have your car right now.
No, I was lying.
And that psychologist that Johnny picked, her husband's so into me, she told him I was going to be there, and he brought me muffins. She told her husband she's not supposed to do that. Well, I mean, she said that we could thank him for them. So, I mean, he's so into me. I feel so bad for her. This is it. This is how we're going to win this case. She has no idea.
As you see in the evidence A, Voltaren. In the
drawer of Mr. Depp's bedside table. Now, why would somebody need this anti-inflammatory drug? One might say, well, because of his aging joints, but I say no. I say this was an act of recreational drug use. Put that in evidence, eh?
All right, let's see. Let's see what else you got. I just am not, I just can't get into doing the serious stuff tonight, you guys. I'm sorry. I don't know what my damage is. You guys don't have to stick around. All right. Let's see what these people think is funny moments.
Has been sober for 30 years. We've had discussions, and he wanted me to get clean, sober.
I appreciate that. My only question was just to confirm that you had sent that message to Elton John, nothing else. I want to be respectful of the court's time and the jury's time. I trust that you do too. So can you pull up these?
Oh, let me look that one up. Hang on.
Jeff, can you please explain to the jury who Sean Bailey is? We're starting to.
Yes, I'll try again. Sean Bailey was quoted as
my
saying
God.
that judgment yesterday.
Mr. Depp, where was Sean Bailey quoted?
Mr. Depp, with respect, trying to respect the court's time and the jury's time, that was not my question. My question was
I
simply,
understand. When
you
you
would
take 5
agree,
minutes to look for a
you would agree,
document.
you would agree that on. Let's pull up Exhibit 500, please. 500. That's Exhibit 500.
I'd like to see who I lied to.
Sometimes drink whiskey in the mornings too, right?
Isn't happy hour anytime?
You can't say that you carried cocaine in that box?
No, but it looks like it would fit some cocaine. I once gave Marilyn Manson a pill so that he would stop talking so much.
Did I read that right?
You did.
Did I read that correctly?
You did.
Okay. Did I read that right?
Yes, you did.
Did I read that right?
You continue to read them right, yes.
And right after you cut your finger off, right after, I won't give you anything to argue with me yet. Right after you sustained an injury to your finger.
I'm looking for it. Cement
right after you
shoes.
sustained an injury to your finger.
Bless
You
All
poured
right.
yourself a mega pint of red wine.
A
correct?
mega pint.
A mega pint.
Yeah. We're gonna fast forward in time a little bit, Mr. Depp.
Yes, I can feel it.
I have other uses for your throat which do not include injury. I have other uses for your throat.
She and her witnesses will put on even more evidence of the physical abuse she suffered at the hands of Mr. Depp. But that's not the basis for our motion right now, Your Honor. He talks about how Mr. Depp had a sworn denial, and that should count. We read his testimony. He claims he didn't strike her. But again, that's not the basis for our motion. The basis for our motion is the clear and undisputed evidence of non-physical abuse. By his definitions, by his...
All right, let's go look at this bee. Let's go look at the bees. All right, here we go. Wait, I have to share it. My bad.
Stepped on a bee.
My child spilled my tea.
Jimmy Savile shagged me. I want to break free.
Didn't want to turn the key.
My dad has to pee.
My mom's stuck in a tree. My dog stepped on a bee.
I sharted on Santa's knee.
I can't say turkey tree.
I'm just having a pee.
What does it say? And he
Live just by the sea. Oh shit! Shit!
my dog stepped on a bee.
You thunder against me.
My yard's full of debris.
Pornhub Premium isn't free.
God, did he just hit me?
My squirrel got bit by a flea.
Without my glasses, I cannot see.
I want to learn Tai Chi.
The worst thing has just happened to me.
Got stung by a bee when I was having a wee.
I twisted my knee.
He'd come back and tell me.
It hurts when I try to pee.
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
I really need to pee.
Didn't physically hurt me.
My husband broke his knee.
Lasagna has a G.
This isn't gluten-free.
Where's Harvey?
My dog stepped on a bee.
We gotta save the universe, Morty!
There's no sugar in my tea.
My cats have fleas.
He gets down on his knees.
I have to sneeze.
Oh, say, can you see?
I fell out of a tree.
That was so scary. My dog stepped on a bee.
Objection, relevance.
Her meow meow was dirty, now it burns when I pee.
Where can my dentures be?
Oh,
Oh my gosh. Yeah, y'all, like the internet is. Look, Amber Heard, you should have never did this, girl. This was like, I don't know who advised you that this would be a good idea to make these claims and to do these things, but no. That was the worst advice you've ever been given. Anybody have any other ones they want to watch? Because, yeah, TikTok, man, y'all, TikTok is relentless. They have switched it up. They have broken down that cocaine alleged bump, in my opinion, for entertainment purposes only, like 11 billion different ways, slowed it down, zoomed in on her pupils. Like, they're done with Amber Heard. You know, it's bad. It's bad. And the thing is that when I don't know if you guys watched me on Criminality on Friday. If not, you guys should totally check that out. Just not because I'm on there, but just check out her channel, because Teresa does really good work. Teresa and Christine and Michelle, they all do really great work. She has an awesome channel. If one of you mods could do me a favor and post the link to Teresa's channel, I would greatly appreciate it. You guys got to go over there and give her a sub for reals. But there's such a weird disconnect between the, hey, Mrs. O, the words coming out of her mouth and her face. It's like not all of her body is working together as a team. They're all doing their own thing. Remember that song from Sesame Street? Some of y'all might not remember it because some of you guys are too young, but there used to be this song on Sesame Street. One of these kids is doing his own thing. One of these kids is not the same. That is what Amber Heard's body is doing right now. They're not working as a team. Everybody is just willy-nilly doing whatever they want. You got her mouth saying one thing. Her face is making odd faces. Her head is shaking. She's doing weird things with her arms and hands. Like, nothing is coordinated, right? She's just a big mess. And the thing is that this isn't like like a jokey subject. You know what I mean? This is pretty serious, what she's alleging. And yet nobody can take her seriously because it's just so ridiculous to her testimony just doesn't make sense. I mean, look, even when Johnny Depp's texts were being read, hey, Jody, it's cool. I don't know if I said hi to you earlier. Even when they read Johnny Depp's texts, right? And listen, now, you know, I love Johnny more than my luggage. Okay. I don't really have luggage, but that's not the point. Okay. I'll go look. Cement shoes. Let me go look. All right. But Homeboy writes like straight out of Twin Peaks. Okay. And even his texts that are all Twin Peaksy make more sense and you can follow them more logically than um than Amber Heard's testimony about a very traumatizing, traumatic event. Plus, y'all, here's my other issue with her. She body shamed a dog. Okay, it wasn't enough that she blamed them for the bed. That wasn't bad enough, right? Then she had to go in front of God and everybody because you know that she dadgum near broke the internet. When she was testifying, just like Johnny Depp did, right? Everybody's watching, right? And in front of God and everybody, she's out here talking about Johnny's dog is chunkier than her dog. Like she's a better dog mom, a dog parent than Johnny Depp is. And then, you know, so now you have incriminated them falsely, right? And then now you, to add insult to injury, you've now said that Johnny Depp's dog is chunkier than yours. Now you're out here body shaming dogs. Framing them for a crime they didn't commit was not enough, right? I mean, come on. Like she's just, oh, that's true. Excellent point. Yes, Shmita, we cannot forget that. She called his kids little weirdos. This is the thing about that. I'm glad that you brought that up because now I'm thinking. Now all the synapses are firing. All right. So if you think back to Dr. Curry, bless you, Dr. Curry, one of the real MVPs, I think, of this trial. If you think back to Dr. Curry's testimony and what her analysis revealed about Amber Heard, right? And the fact that she has borderline personality disorder and histrionic personality disorder. All right. And what traits people who have those specific personality disorders have, right? And one of them is mirroring. And I think that that's really evident when she calls the kids little weirdos, because on its face, it's kind of like, ugh, you know, but if you really think about it, she's trying to emulate the way that Johnny Depp speaks, the phrases that he uses. Now, you think about this. If Johnny Depp had gotten on that stand and referred to his kids as his little weirdos, it would have had a totally different reaction because it's a genuine thing. I used to call my kids little creeps. I called them little weirdos. I used to tell my kids all the time, I love your guts. But those are like genuine nicknames. That's actually how I felt about my kids, right? I also called them bugaboos. I also have called them monsters. I've also called them, what else have I called? I've called them a lot of things over the years, little nicknames, right? Out of love. And it's not that it's not, I'm not giving her a rash of shit over the fact that whether she loves them or not. I don't know. I don't even think Amber knows. But hey, SoCal Megapint, yeah, all moms and dads do that. We all have little nicknames for our kids, right? I also would ask my kids frequently, like, are you guys working together? Is this a coordinated effort to make me crazy? I mean, all kinds of stuff like that. But it's the way that she says it, it's disingenuous. It isn't a term of endearment. It is her attempt to try to speak in the way that Johnny Depp does, like straight out of Johnny Depp, bless his heart. He kind of talks like the log lady from Twin Peaks a little bit. Like, he'll have a thought, and then he'll say whatever it is, and then there'll be a question, and then he'll answer with, "My log will have something to say about that later," right? And you're always like, "What?" You're always kind of left like, Did what?" A little bit. You know what I mean? But in a good way. I think, frankly, personally, in my opinion, I would so much rather be known as a weirdo than somebody normal. I think normal is a relative term, right? I would rather be a little different than status quo. Makes me special, right? And I think that's what she's trying to do. We one of the other things we talked about on Teresa's panel was that, and I've said it here too, what I truly believe Amber Heard was jealous of with respect to Johnny. I actually think that she envied Johnny Depp's success in Hollywood because she so wanted it, right? But I think that more than anything, even above the success, I think that the thing that she was the most envious of is how likable Johnny Depp is. That there are people, no matter how they know him, whether they are employed by him, formerly employed by him, just generally speaking, there aren't a whole lot of people coming out of the woodworks talking about what a monster Johnny Depp was to work with, right? Or what a monster human being he is. Because I can remember, like, Val Kilmer, all the stuff that they talked about him, like what a diva he was on sets, like after Top Gun, and what a diva he was on the set of whichever Batman he was in, because I didn't watch the one with Val Kilmer because I didn't care for him as Batman. Sorry, not sorry. I said what I said. But yeah, so those kind of things come out. And even today when his agent was talking, it wasn't today, but when I played it today, when we were listening to it, and the agent was saying that professionally, Johnny Depp has a good professional reputation, that, yeah, he is a person who is tardy. It's just part of who he is. My sister is like that. She and I are, obviously we're sisters, so we're both Mexican, and we both will jokingly say to one another, I always say my sister runs on Mexican people time. She's always late. It's always, it drives me nuts, but I still love my sister, and it's like not a deal breaker, where Johnny's tardiness to the set was not a deal breaker. He had a good professional relationship or reputation. And I think I think that's really the thing that Amber, to use Hannibal Lecter's words, coveted in Johnny Depp. That's what she wanted. She wanted people to like her and think of her and talk about her in the way that they talk about Johnny. And the truth is that this there ever since all of these allegations have come out, and ever since the lawsuit, right, people have been coming out of the woodwork with stories of what Amber Heard is like, and they're not good stories, they're not fond memories, so all right, let's see this one, see what this one is about. All right, ready? Okay, here we go.
They certainly could. We need a cynic in chat too.
Oh, wait a minute. Is this Tor from didn't she and oh my gosh, it's on the tip of my tongue. They used to do Lindley and Natalia. Is that who this is? Is that who this is? All right, sorry, I shouldn't have pushed pause right in the middle.
What is
of
with
that
the
was
fucking
rude.
tea? I had a mega pint of tea last night. Many teas.
I love tea.
Hey, Francesca. It is a monologue, and yeah, it became a soliloquy for all of us, didn't it? We all zoned out at some point. We listened to how they got together bit, and then all of us just started having fun in chat. A novel about a man that shows up and gives you lots of presents and then fucks off sounds like a woman's book to me. Wow, I can't believe this article plagiarized Dragon Ball. Like, look, there's over 9,000. That's unbelievable.
Good night, Sarah.
Like, I'm puss in boots. She's teabagging tea. Oh my God, I love this chat so much. You guys are the best. I'm so sleep. Well, I'm not sleep deprived, but I'm just like, in the morning I'm making waffles. I mean, I'm surprised there isn't someone on Twitter going,
yes,
Amber said the word
cement
and.
shoes. That's it.
I mean, she says
Mel,
I and
why
me a
couldn't-
lot. Like, she's a bit me, myself, and Irene, let's be honest. But in the morning, I'm making waffles. I'll say I'm not angry anymore. Thank you, guys. I love you all so much. I really do. Dragon Ball line. How dare they play this fucking whatever this bloody article's from? They're plagiarizing Dragon Ball. Okay, compose yourself, Tori. So let's see what some of the tweeters have said. It must take a special. This is from Bria Dale. Whatever. It must take a special kind of narcissism to plagiarize a movie script and claim quotes as your own on the witness stand in the opening statement of your defense. I think some of these people are taking it way too seriously. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm all for spotting things when you're watching court. Like, we've been doing that. We've been taking shots every time she says I and me, which is why we're all still drunk.
There's no way I can
Like,
play
I'm
a
all
drinking
for it,
game.
you know, we all have to
with Amber Heard.
Keep ourselves entertained, but let's say that she's very serious. Bria Dale is not happy. It must take a special kind of narcissism to plagiarize a movie script. I'm sorry. I've quoted Shakespeare so many times. Bloody Johnny Depp quoted Shakespeare. Things were rotten in the state of Denmark. Force got it 7 years ago. Oh my God, you guys are killing me.
I used 4
You
7
know,
years
I'm
ago a
loving
lot.
this.
Do it, Coolest Reviews. I'd love it if you did.
We seriously should have 50,000 people watching us right now. This is epic. Oh, you like objection heard say? Okay. Oh, I'm getting many votes.
Oh,
Thank you,
no.
Blue. Thank you, Cement Shoes. Eats edibles, sips tea while laughing in the dark. I'm fine. That's so true. Amber would fuck up the quoting. It was a dark and stormy night. I swear to God, I'm just going to watch the rest of this trial waiting for her to do that. I can't stop laughing. You know when you Tori, compose yourself. I'd say yes. Okay, so you like that? But look, Johnny Deposition is better, let's be honest. It was the best.
Come on, Kaz. You can do it.
Oh, no, it's not. Okay, thank you. I thought I was playing the original and then not. I was like, oh God, this is getting worse. Take a shot every time she says, I remember. We will be drunk next week. Oh my God, I know. We have to just keep rewatching it.
Come on, Kaz.
She is a Grover. Turtle Dove fits right in. And we had, I can't remember her full name. I kept calling her BB, not SS. Last night, that English girl, she was dropping some pearlers too. We've all lost our minds here. Welcome.
Because you are nonstop, Mom. It's always a wild party up in here.
Sliced in Wonderland, do you mean now? Oh, we came to the river.
Oh, look, cement shoes.
Like the next time, I can't even be bothered with this article anymore. Fuck it. You people are way better than what's happening on the Twitters. I would die if when court resumes. Bloody Amber's lawyer, Diane from Diane's channel, is like, now Amber, can you tell us about what happened on April the 17th, 1842? Oh, wait a minute, sorry, it wasn't 1842. Your outfit just reminded me of the Pilgrims. Can you tell us about what happened on that day? It was a dark and stormy night. Oh God, I'm going to lose it. Alice in Wonderland, yes. None of us do. I mean, look at me. I look like someone who hasn't slept for days. I haven't. Well, I mean, I have, but weird times. Sunny. Oh, Sunny's so confused. Sunny's just up there on the top of the couch. She's so confused.
This trial has really messed us up as a society.
I mean, actually, I would like to point out another line from a book that she has been quoting many times. I've heard her quoting Lady Chatterley's Lover by D.H. Lawrence. I've heard her say a line that's very famous from that book, and the line is, cunt. Oh, yeah, the cuddle puddles. Call me Ishmael.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm going to go and cook dinner in a minute. But I can't leave this. I wanted to yell that at her last night. I totally went into that zone. The cuddle puddles, yeah, Amber and her girlfriends were having a cuddle puddle, and it was felt like a hen's night, like before the wedding. They were in that little cuddle puddle, and then I can't remember who it was in chat. Was it you, Turtle Dove? You were talking about your cuddle puddle at Burning Man, but it wasn't who said Johnny doesn't strike me as a cuddle puddle kind of person.
Oh,
Story
let me just say this: Better Call Tor is a gift to the YouTubes.
Vision Quest. Many women would be a puddle in his presence, I'm sure. Oh yes, we need a bit of Romeo and Juliet, definitely.
She does.
Cement shoes.
That was a good one.
We finished with fall. What happened next? Well, Your Honour, now is the winter of discontent. My kingdom for an airline bag.
my gosh.
How much is that doggy out the window? What did that just come into my head? You know, this kind of thing. How much is that doggy out the window? There's another one.
Which one's the chunky
Probably
one?
pistol with a little top notch. There's another one.
Dogs always put their head out the window.
Man, that dog looking angry.
Gotta pet that dog.
That dog's quite scary, isn't it? I mean, that little face in the top one, super cute. Look at the diamond collar. This little one with the top knot.
That dog's
looking
like, I'm
mum,
tired of you blaming
basically.
shit on
You know,
us.
they say dogs look like their owners, vice versa. But look at the dog's face in that one.
Look at shit, I'm out.
I don't think the dog's having fun.
Oh, wow.
And I laughed. I just laughed because I thought he was joking, and slapped me across the face. And I laughed because I thought this must be a joke. I said, "You think it's so funny? You think it's funny? You think you're a funny?" I didn't say anything. I didn't react. I just stared at him because I didn't know what else to do.
Oh my gosh. I love her. Oh, things are already playing again. My bad. I wasn't ready. Oh my goodness. When that TikTok first, that sound from TikTok first made its debut, I used to run around the house when we were in quarantine. Just at random parts, like I'd be sitting there washing dishes, and I'd just for no reason be like, "Gonna pet that dog? Gonna pet that dog?" And my dog was. By the end of quarantine, I'm telling you, Nestor had had enough of my shit. Alice, for sure, had enough of my shit. Because I would say it to her too. Can I pet that dog? She'd be like, "Bitch, be quiet. I'm sleeping. Go pet whatever you're going to pet." That's what we needed. We needed levity for show, for show. Please don't strike me, Tor. I thought it was great. Oh, it was bad. Nonstop, Mom. See, here's the thing about this is the thing about me that you guys should know. I'm gonna lay a little, let some of my soul out to y'all. All right. I'm actually perfectly content being a homebody. Okay, I'm a Generation Xer. We're the original latchkey kids. Okay, so I don't really sure did, Sharita. It was so bad. Okay, so I actually don't mind being at home. I mean, like I said, I'm a Generation Xer. I'm we're the original latchkey kids. Like I'm used to it. It was no big deal. Okay, but that's because it's my choice, right? But the minute they said you can't go anywhere, the minute they told me I couldn't leave, then oh, I'll have to check that out. Cement shoes for sure. Shmita. Oh, hold on, I'll do it. Let me get Tor's link because I want to drop that. Hold on just a second. But anyway, so the minute that I was told that I couldn't leave the house, all of a sudden, then like within 5 minutes, I had like cabin fever. All right. And then I needed to go out. And but I couldn't. So I would get stuck on the TikToks. Y'all, I would look at TikToks, the tickety talks for hours. And I was bad because like I'd have my earbuds in, and I'd be listening, and they're always playing songs or whatever, and you guys know that I'm the human jukebox, right? So I know all the words to all the songs they play all the time. So then we would just be like chilling out in the house, and all of a sudden I would bust out with some really loud, out of tune song lyrics. I drove everybody crazy. I did. The animals were tired of me. My kids were tired of me. I was tired of me. Yeah. I mean, I think after a while, just being cooped up with anybody, no matter how much fun they are, no matter how great they are, gets old after a while. You need a change of scenery. And, you know, it was bad. And I would do it I would do it on phone calls. Gonna pet that dog. Even now, like Alice heard it, she looks over at me. Don't start that shit, Mom. Just don't. I just can't help it. I can't help it. I also would, I still, even to this day, will every once in a while, at least, not once in a while, it's probably more frequently than that, at least once a week, I will be doing housework singing Kyle's Mom, loud, proud. Yeah, it's bad. Sometimes when a song gets stuck in my head, if I don't sing it out, I can never get it out of my head. And there's already like 52 voices in there. I can't handle a song also. It's just too much. It's overwhelming. So, yeah. I'm just always joking around all the time. I'm never serious. Which, like, I can be. You guys know that. I'm having a hard time with this case, really, I think, and waiting because there's nothing new, right? We're not going to hear any new testimony. And I suppose the backstory of it all is interesting. It is interesting in a way, but what I'm more interested in, I think that Johnny Depp for sure has proven himself in the court of public opinion, which is, I think, really what his intention was. But that's not what's happening, obviously. It's the court. So now I'm curious about, like, are they gonna has he met his burden of proof? And I'm fascinated by that. And no, I haven't seen anybody really talking about Mr. Doherty from the ACLU, which also I want you should totally watch it. I played the clip today. It's like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that. It's on Long Crime Network. It's under the Key Trial Moments playlist. Y'all, I don't know what he's drinking. It's not tea that he's drinking. I'm telling you right now, that's not tea. But yeah. I just, I want to know what he's drinking. So, yeah, it is what it is. I saw somebody who had been talking about it, and it was so interesting. Oh, about the trial. Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, Kyle's mom. Now it's going to be stuck in my head again. So I was asked today, I was talking with Paula. She was really sweet to come up, and we were talking about like perjury and the could she be in trouble for perjury? Well, we were talking about that. And hey, Rhodey gal, how are you? And perjury is one of those things, like you can know somebody is lying on the stand, right? But but proving it is a totally different thing. And I think in order for there to be like you'd have to have a paper trail, I think, to get her in trouble for perjury. It's just that I'm playing, I can as I'm talking to you, that's why I'm stuttering around, because it's on a loop in my head. The other thing that's in my head is Cartman saying, "I said fuck my bowels." Hold on, Alice wants out of the room. Please hold. Hey Tony, yeah, I feel like Johnny Depp just wanted to clear his name. I think he's pretty much done that. I can't help it, Nonstop Mom. I don't know how to be appropriate ever. And wait, Christine, come up here and explain what you're saying, would you please? I don't understand what you're telling me. Come up here. Come on up here, because mainly you don't even have to explain shit. I just want you to come up here so I can use my overlay for literally no reason. Yeah, I feel like I can't help it also, Nonstop Mom. I can't help it. Yeah, it does. Yes, it does. So, it does. And the person they're most likely going to want to talk to and about is the ex-partner. Now, she in her 2016 deposition, she says that the charges were dropped immediately. But then when we were watching that other video, the narrator was saying that she got probation. Well, how do you get probation if charges are dropped? So see, that doesn't make sense. But that's who they're, but because, oh yay, Christine's here. But hey, let's pretend we don't know that it's Christine, and we have to be on the we have to be on the lookout. So I'm going to add her to the stream, but nobody can see her. Hey girl, hey. Look at my, yeah, look at the screen. Look what I made.
I see the turd.
I wanted to write, please hold while we screen for Peen, but I didn't think that the YouTubes would like that. You think I can get away with it?
Well, I love this because you gave her high fours.
I can't take credit for that. That is Carla Franco made that.
I like it. It's
yes.
Perfect.
It's her. She made the cookie. I added the words. You see how fancy AF I am?
She got her hair perfect.
She did. How's that for an aesthetic, lady?
I think it looks great. It looks
good.
Perfect.
I'm glad. Maybe you can help me with my other aesthetic.
No, I think it's great. I think it really reflects you as a person. It reflects your sarcasm.
like a Monet painting expresses my internal conflict. Like it looks like from far away it's all put together and gorgeous, but once you get right up close to it, it's a big old mess. Yeah, that sums me up too.
I like that we were talking about wine.
It is a line from Clueless, but it's an accurate line. Monet's paintings from far, like the farther back you stand, the more they look more detailed, but the closer up you are, they are kind of like just a bunch of paint, really.
Mm-hmm. You're way more sophisticated than me. Nod.
I took art for 4 years. I should remember something. There you go, Mr. Viol. I was paying attention.
Take attendance now.
Yeah. Mark me present.
So I had seen on like Facebook, I don't know where I was at. You know, I just get lost sometimes and everywhere, all the streets and the alleys and stuff. But I had seen this girl talking about that she went and stood in line. She had to get there to stand in line at like 2:30 a.m. and they handed out passes at 7:30 a.m. and they didn't even get to go in and it to like 9.
No. See, that's
Yeah.
going to be a deal breaker for your girl here.
Yeah, so a lot of people felt the exact same way and told her so in an aggressive way.
I mean, look, why would they be aggressive about it though? That's the part I don't get. That's weird. Okay. And then?
So yeah, so they all jumped on her eventually, but before that happened, she was answering everybody's questions really nicely. And
of course she was. And then there had to be an asshole in there that ruined it for everybody. The one that kicked it off, and the person that's the reason we can't have nice things. Okay.
yeah, her name was Misty Dawn, and somebody was like, man, imagine having a name like Misty Dawn and not even being pretty. I just thought that was a good one. Are you there? Well, it's okay. You're there 2 times, and I'm just here.
No, I'm here. I just had to switch to my phone real quick. Sorry about that. I need to get up and walk. My back hurts.
So she said that. So she said it was on a day that Amber was testifying, and
Okay.
that, which I was like, yes, all right, tell me. So she said that it was very uncomfortable to even be. Like all her theatrics just made everybody feel uncomfortable, and that she couldn't imagine how the jurors felt because the way she kept staring at them, like that.
Trying to make eye contact.
Yeah.
But like,
so she said that it was just very uncomfortable, and so I wonder, like, I didn't know because they said it was like an all-male jury, but after she said that, I was like, man, like, you know, maybe Amber is just making them feel really uncomfortable anyway. Like, you know, that's probably not working in her favor at all. So, yeah, it was interesting. She said it's like it's mostly Asian men, and then it's 4 men and 3 women, and it was just It's only 7.
oh, well, okay. That makes, because it can't be an even number.
That makes sense.
because of the way, so for criminals, it's a jury of, it's 12, right? But the way that civil trial works, I suppose you could have a majority with an even number, but for whatever reason, I think it's always an odd number. I have to look into that. I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah,
Well,
that makes sense.
I got distracted by the jar of cocaine. Okay. I'm not, I still can't get that. I know there was way more salacious testimony out of Amber Heard, but to me it was such BS that it's, in my opinion, I'm not going to like give it life. I'm not going to, I refuse to play the afternoon testimony from Thursday where she gives the whole Gone Girl scenario. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to give it life. I won't play it on my channel because I think it's disgusting.
I haven't seen the Gone Girl. I've seen the like video. I haven't watched it yet though.
Have you ever seen the movie?
Yeah.
Okay. So so you know which part I'm talking about. There's one specific scene that Amber recalls as her own. That's why they all are referring to it as the Gone Girl scene. But I'm not going to give that story that she's telling life because it just is, there's such a disconnect in my mind.
It's one of the more disgusting ones that she told.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's worse than the body cavity search in the trailer.
Okay. Yeah.
At Hicktown. It's the thing is, generally speaking, I believe the majority of time victims are telling the truth, and I'm always willing to listen to the victim. And in this case, I'm listening to this alleged victim, right? But there is such a disconnect for me in her testimony. It's like every cell in her body is working against her. It's like everything about her. It's not even the words that it's the words, it is the words, but it's just cumulative. Her body is telling the whole world that what's coming out of her mouth right this second is a whole ass lie. And I find it so disconcerting because,
and if we feel that way, like watching it, like, I mean, what that girl said just really like resonated with me. Like if the whole courtroom felt awkward having to watch that happen, like those jurors must be like cringing the whole
Yes. And see, it's not like, okay.
I would
So when
definitely write a book after if I was one of them.
I would too. I would too. So what's interesting to me is that what she's trying to mirror unsuccessfully are the people who testified that were successful at engaging the jury. And that would be Johnny Depp and Dr. Curry. See, Dr. Curry would, when she was asked a question that required an explanation of a diagnosis, she would engage the jury. She would turn to the jury and explain how they arrive at this and what this means and all that. She was engaging to the jury. When Amber turns to the jury, it's like the freaking death stare. I'm sorry, it is. She reminds me of Kids in the Hall. I'm crushing your brain. Look at me right now. You say I'm crushing your brain. Remember that skit? You're younger than I am, aren't you? Yeah. So you probably don't remember. That's an older one. But that's how she's looking.
I love your voices though, so I would never have said it.
Yeah, you man, my voices. You know, AD, my Jen Lou, your voice just makes me laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh. Not the words, AD, just the voice.
I feel so bad for those jurors though, for real. Like, but so like what you were saying, majority doesn't matter though, right? Like she doesn't need a majority, she just needs the one person.
No, that's a criminal trial. In the jury, for whoever has the most votes is the winner.
But I thought
so
they said
Johnny,
that like
maybe it's backwards.
One person to believe her. Is that not accurate?
I don't know. I'm going to have to look that up.
Yeah,
because I feel like I heard somewhere else that it can be a 4-3 split, and that if he has 4 and she has 3, it's not necessary for her to get a unanimous verdict the way it is with a criminal trial. The jurors don't have to be unanimous.
So do you know what though? I did see something last night that I thought was interesting, that one of the body language guys, I forget his name, but he's like kind of youngish, well, like our age, and he's like bald, and sometimes he has his girlfriend on and they're funny together. And he calls like his subscribers idiots because it like
idiot.
You know.
Okay. Yeah.
So that guy, and he showed a video about like an interview that she gave, like the most normalist interview he could find, like that she just gave like a reporter, where she was being nice, she was being friendly, and like she wasn't being like snotty, and so it was like Good Morning America maybe or something. I don't know, it was something nice, but so he showed like a clip of her like talking and to like get a baseline, right? And she just kind of is, she's just kind of like is like very dramatic. Like she was really dramatic, and like she did like some of that chin stuff. Like it's not as pronounced as it is like in the courtroom for sure, I would definitely say, but like it was also a few years ago. But her manner is just different, I think, than most people.
I think that goes along with her histrionic personality disorder. To answer you, Coolest Reviews, no, I didn't watch The State on MTV, but I think that goes. Look, Dr. Curry can call it histrionic personality disorder. On these YouTube streets, we call it extra as fuck in a non-enjoyable way. Like, I'm extra, right? And I'm extra as fuck a lot. But I do it to be funny. I don't do it to be, I'm not a danger. I don't need it. No warning label. I don't need one of those. You know what I'm saying? She needs a warning label.
You don't usually get it up in time.
Well, to be fair, I don't need, me as a person doesn't need a warning label, but some of this testimony does, but I don't get it up in time. Right. It's everybody else. Correct. This kind of stuff doesn't, this kind of stuff, you have to remember too, and I think we're of the same generation. I know you're younger than me, but aren't you a generation X or 2? Or are you that much younger than me?
I turned 36 a couple days ago.
Okay, so no, you're not. You're a millennial, right? Or whatever that. What's after Gen? What are you? Aren't you like a Gen Y or something like that? Or Gen?
technically I am like I think the millennial cutoff year is like 85 or something, or like, right there. But I don't
Okay.
think like that. Like my husband was, 6 or 7 years older than me, and I don't think in that late like that no work is the better way at all. Like
Gotcha. So the way that Gen X was raised, the only warning label you got was like the rating on like HBO or Showtime. That's it. Like if you got it, like the movie was rated R. And for some, the way that HBO would do, I'll never forget this because I wanted to watch Firestarter and I lied to my mom about its rating because I wanted to watch it.
Firestarter. I thought that the other day. Like that is Firestarter right there.
That's it. That's the stare. That's the stare right before Drew Barrymore sets shit on fire. Boom. That's the stare. Okay. So like HBO, for whatever reason, the audio on this movie is rated R, was like louder than any other. This movie's rated PG or whatever. So that's the kind of warnings that I had growing up. So I don't, I can respect what would be triggering to other people, right? But I never think about it until the trigger, something that is potentially triggering is already out.
Until people start passing out in chat.
Some people are like,
oh my God,
Jen. And I'm like, I'm sorry.
Do you remember when you used to have to, like, when you didn't know what movie was playing and like you had a call on the phone?
Yes,
and, like,
welcome to Movie Phone. If you know the name of the movie you want to hear, enter it now.
And you can like listen to the audio of all the trailers to see like if that was the one, and then you
Yes. Remember when you used to have to, if you wanted to order, and my mom could never say it right, she would call it pay to view. I'm like, Mom, it's really literally on the screen, babe. It says pay per view, but you used to call the cable company to order a movie. You couldn't just use your remote to do it. My mom would be like, Jen, get the pay to view. Mom, it's pay per view.
I love this
she did stuff like that all the time.
You used to have to go get a CD from the gas station for AOL.
Yes. Yes.
To put it into your computer to like log in.
Yes. You've got mail. And then there was that horrible. Yeah, it was terrible.
I had to explain to my daughter, like last year maybe, I had to literally explain the steps of like, remember those disposable cameras? I had to like, tell her about it. She was shocked. I was like, yeah, you went and you bought this disposable camera and then you took the pictures. You couldn't edit them. You didn't really know if it was going to be good or not, or if the lighting was bad.
You just clicked and hoped for the best.
Yeah, and then you go to the store to like get the film developed, and right there you had to pick right there if you were going to get 1 copy or 2 copies. It was always kind of iffy because maybe it wasn't going to be good pictures.
Right, exactly. Should I get doubles? What if they're ass? Yeah, I remember those days. I remember those days. I remember the days of sitting by the radio, right, with your cassette in there to record off the radio. Yeah, and yeah, because you're waiting for your song. And I also remember like taking tapes that my parents had bought, and you could put tape over.
Paper. Yeah.
Yeah, or you could put the tape over it so it would make, there's a spot you could put it where it would make it be recordable where it wouldn't have been before, So yeah.
Little paper.
Yeah, I did a lot of stuff. I miss those days.
Me too. Everything was so much like
it was harder, but it seemed easier. It was harder, but it seemed easier. Like
the journey was part of the fun.
Remember the card catalog? That was our Google. Y'all kids don't know. The card catalog was the Googles.
I remember the Victoria's Secret like catalogs, and we'd like pick pajamas every year, and they were like clouds or like dark navy, like celestial suns and stuff.
Yes.
They were like matching sets.
Yes.
I had them all.
Yes. Do magazines even have like perfume samples anymore on the paper where you can rip them out? Do they still do that?
I don't know, but I went looking for my daughter for like a 17 or something magazine. They don't even make them anymore.
What?
Yeah, they have like remember like the Tiger Beat or Pop Beat or whatever it was.
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
posters. They do still have like one of those, but they don't have like 17 magazine or teen like they don't have those anymore.
Oh, I missed. I had seven. I had my mom had got us a prescription, and we needed a prescription. My mom got us a subscription to 17 magazine. I loved 17
Yeah, because they
magazine.
had all those cool quizzes like.
Yeah.
What is your horoscope summer crush gonna be? And they were like fun.
Yes.
Like, this is what your
Yes.
personality is.
Right.
Nothing's as cool as it used to be.
I miss that. I miss those days. Those were fun times. Those were, those were harder times, but they were oddly simpler times.
Yeah, but because everything was like the journey to like, so like even like with the photo thing, like you had to like walk to the drugstore. We'd walk to like Walgreens or whatever or Rayleigh's, and like
ours was Eckerd's. We went to Eckerd's,
and it was like part of it, like like
yes,
the journey to like get this thing or do or like even rent a movie. Like you had to go to Blockbuster. It was so exciting. You had to go up to the counter and ask if anybody had turned the one you wanted in yet because it was gone off the shelf.
Yep.
Everything was part of like you lived the experience, and then like you got this like movie at the
it wasn't instant. There was like if you wanted something, you had to go and get it, and that was part of it, which made whatever it was that you ended up getting, like going to Blockbuster, better because you had to somewhat work for it. It wasn't just you couldn't just click and be like, "Oh, there's the movie."
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let me remove this Jen Lou. Now there's two people. Poor Kez Chick's over here asking why there's 5 people on panel. Now, Kez Chick, there was only 3. So if you're seeing 5, babe, I don't know what's going on. Did you lick something that looked like a stamp?
You better put your thing back up.
Where are the 5? But yeah, I miss those days. Those were the best times. And if you think about it, right? The age difference between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard is such that she has, if he were to talk about this stuff, she would have zero idea what he was talking about. Oh, and I watched something on the YouTubes not that long ago, like yesterday or the day before or something, and they were like talking about Johnny Depp and Winona Ryder getting together, and I thought that she was 19. No, she was 19 when they broke up. She was 17 when they got together.
Oh, sting.
Mm-hmm.
How old was he back then? Like 20 something or
26, I think. 24, 25, somewhere. Yeah. Older.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, Turtle Dove. Good to see you. Yeah. So like that's the stuff I miss. I miss those, and like I can tell my kids about it, right? But they can't. My older 3 can relate somewhat because when they were born, the internet was everywhere, but it wasn't like as inexpensive as it is now. So it wasn't something that, and they didn't like, I remember when my son got his first smartphone and it was one of those, I can never say the name of it, but it was not an iPhone. It was like Huawei or something like that. And I didn't have that. I didn't have a flip phone, but I had like I think it was
Nokia.
I think mine was the Motorola. I can't remember what it was, but you still had to like, you still had to press like A 3 times to get to C. You know what I mean? When you were texting.
Yeah.
Okay. So then for his birthday, he did get an iPhone and he gave me his hand-me-down. And I remember him giving it to me and putting it, and I got it, put in my number and everything. And I was trying to text on it, remember? And I said, I can't stand this. This is stupid. This is the stupidest thing ever. I hate this phone. I was livid. And now when I think back on it, if somebody handed me a phone where I had to push the number 1, would be super annoyed. I can't imagine not having a smartphone.
I can't either. When I remember when I had those Nokias and like you run it, like they sold minutes, like they were like a
like Prime Code.
Yeah, and like they'd cost you like hundreds of dollars to send a couple text messages if you went over. Oh gosh. Anyways, I remember like my husband when it like would be late coming home or like out being crazy and not coming home or something, and I remember having to take my ass to the gas station to go to the payphone to call him and
Yes.
find out where he was at, and it was like it was so
Yes.
much more. Like you really had to decide if you were going to be mad at your husband that night.
Right. And this is the thing, exactly. And this is the thing that kids today will never, ever know what it feels like. The feel of satisfaction when you slam the phone down on somebody to hang up. Like hitting the end button angrily just doesn't have the same impact and effect as a slamming down of a phone when you hang up on somebody, when you're just done. And they'll never know that.
Yeah, that was always frustrating, and then I'd have to like make sure I had my stupid quarters or that I hung up the phone before the answering thing picked up.
Yeah, you know what I do? When I need to, when they tell you to record, would just say, "Mom, it's Jen. I'm at the mall. Come." Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. So I would call my mom, and when they tell you to record your name, I would just, instead of recording my name, I would just tell my mom, "Mom, it's Jen. I'm at the mall. Come pick me up." And then she would not accept the charges. So and she's like, she would get so mad at me for doing that. She'd be like, "Jennifer, why do you do that? Stop doing that." I'm like, "Mom, I just needed a ride. Okay. We don't need to pay, $5. You know, Dad's going to be mad when he gets that phone bill."
You know where you can go to re-experience all that magic? Jail.
No, thanks. I'll pass. I can't. I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't, like, as far as I would be fine in jail. Okay. But I don't really like being told what to do. And I don't do well with others. No, just kidding. I don't do well.
You'd be like the mom hen in no time.
I'd probably be running shit is what I would be doing.
I went to jail one time on accident, and I spent the whole 48 hours bawling my face off, crying and like pushing the button that you're not supposed to push.
Oh my God.
It was a wreck. Yeah, it was bad.
I just don't think I couldn't, I don't particularly care for the outfits that Jill offers. I don't like the underwear that they have there. And I don't really like the food selection, right? Like, I don't want to be excited to get money on my books to buy ramen. I can buy ramen now, and they mark up the ramen like it's ridiculous. You can buy like 11 billion ramens.
I've never seen
like
a
$5
burrito or a sandwich
on the
that
streets,
looks.
but in jail, it's like $2.
I remember when I was there,
Yeah, they don't make them. That's not I don't know where they get that shit from.
I've never seen a sandwich that looked more like a burrito and a burrito that looked more like a sandwich before in my life. But that doesn't even look correct.
No. I only was in overnight one time, but I didn't cry because, I'm an Aquarius, so I was not going to fucking cry. I was pissed. Mainly I was pissed because I couldn't smoke. That was the big deal. That was the hardest part, is not smoking. But yeah.
I got a DUI like 12 years ago, and I would never drink and drive again. And like, I learned my lesson, like, let's get that out of the way, but I didn't do anything crazy.
Yeah, and mine wasn't crazy or a DWI or anything like that. It was ridiculous.
See that rumor stuff that I really wanted to believe, but I didn't see any like actual evidence of it about Amber being in jail.
When? Oh,
yeah.
Wait, somebody sent me a super chat. Thank you, Heather, whatever. Thank you so much. Sorry, I didn't acknowledge that. I didn't mean to cut you off. What happened?
It was not confirmed. It was just like one of those like mugshot sites, so it was like not reliable. And
she was arrested for that domestic violence back in 2009.
She would have been a teenager. It was like 2009.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, so that's why she figured out she could graduate early.
Oh my God.
So the real story's coming out. She got a scholarship, huh?
Yeah. She's so much smarter than everybody.
That I knew that was a fact, but I don't know if it is. And
I'm
think it would make so
curious
much
about
sense.
that. Now I'm going to have to Google out.
I think it would make so much sense.
There's a lot of sense. Yeah, there's a lot of things that need explanation.
Could she get in trouble for like omitting that, like telling the jury that she had a scholarship and decided to graduate early if she was actually in jail and she didn't say that? She put all this fancy twist on it.
That's what she meant by soup kitchen. She was actually assigned to kitchen duty.
I was in an all-girls school.
I was volunteering at the kitchen at the soup kitchen, but you had kitchen duty in jail. Stop playing with these people. Can you imagine? That would be
language was how she
that
did her
sign.
communicating.
You mean gang signs? Gotcha. You were giving orders to your geek. Can you imagine?
So much sense to me that was what
it would actually make her more interesting of a person, if you ask me. Because here she is, acting like she was, I volunteered at the soup kitchen. I learned sign language.
Like, even if it's not technically a lie, like that is dishonest.
It is dishonest. It is dishonest. Very dishonest. Oh boy, I can't imagine. Well.
Yeah, well, thank you for inviting me up to your live. This is fun.
Thanks.
I've never been.
I know.
God. This is the first time I've ever been on other live.
Oh God, Teresa's gonna be mad. No, just kidding.
Popped my live cherry.
Ooh, look at me. You gotta wait. You said it too quick. We gotta talk about something else and then talk about the trigger warning from the comment you just made.
Demonetized. No, yeah, this is the first time I've ever been on another live. So thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming up and letting me use my
overlay
peen blocker.
Your condom?
My peen screener.
It's your condom. It's your life condom.
Yes. I love it.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. What are they gonna do? Nothing. Nothing's gonna happen. Believe me, I've heard way worse, and nobody gets in trouble. So whatevs. I'll just appeal.
Yeah. Counterclaim. It's fine.
I'd like to appeal. Speaking of, okay, so remember how I covered Ezra McCandless, right?
Yes, I do remember.
Okay. Do you know that I got a notification from YouTube and they told me that the last thing I played about her, the sentencing part, right, got a it's not eligible for monetization after. This is weird about it. It's not suitable for anybody under 18. So meaning that you have to be logged into YouTube and you have to have a birthday attached to your Google account, attached to your YouTube, in order for you to be able to view it. And I appealed it because, first of all, when anytime I do a live, right, I always turn the monetization on. And they give me a green $sign, right? But then after the live is uploaded, I always get the limited ads, right? I appeal that every single time. And that is one of them that I appealed. And that is one that was suitable for all advertisers. So they changed it. So they've already viewed it, right? So then I get that notice. And they're like, you can appeal if you want to. So I was reading their community guidelines and what could possibly be in there. So I watched the video at 2x speed and I skipped some chunks, right? And I'm thinking to myself, there's nothing in here. So I went and appealed it. And they told me, too bad, so sad, that's how it stays.
Really?
And I was like, yeah. And I'm like, but I don't. And their opener is, we're sorry that this may confuse you. Well, hell yeah, it confuses me. How are you going to give me, how am I going to appeal it the first time, right? Or request a review and you give me suitable for all advertisers. And then you turn around a month later and you say it's not suitable. It's restricted. It's age restricted content.
I mean, was it like some commentary that you made? Like, did you say any of the
No,
bad words?
no. All we were talking about was we listened to her side argue why she should be eligible for parole. And then we listened to what the judge ended up determining, which I thought was a fair and reasonable. I thought his reasonings for giving her the sentence she received, because she wouldn't be eligible for parole until Alex's parents were likely going to no longer be on this earth, because the judge felt like they should be spared from having to attend a parole hearing, that they should live out the rest of their days knowing that she was going to be locked up. That's basically what he said. And that's it. Go watch it. Go watch it.
But none of your jokes got a little twisty?
No. And that's the thing, is that to this day, it was completely random. First of all, it's a random video, because even like there's content on in Ezra that does, it's right on the line. YouTube's real weird about true crime. They're always giving us a rash of shit. But there's, like some of the testimony about her essay, or the alleged essay, right? Both of them, by Alex and by what's his name. But all that happened with those is that it's just a limited. It can only run limited ads. I never even okay, when I read out the autopsy reports from Christopher, Michael, and Stevie, that's not that didn't even get flagged for
and
age
it was
restriction.
content. It wasn't like a copyright holder, like long time wanted their footage or something?
No, because
that's
that would be a
weird.
copyright claim. No, what I got was age restricted, which means that first of all, it's not eligible for any monetization. So anybody that ever goes back and watches it from that, not from before, I got paid from before, but from the time that they decided to put that on till the end of all time, or until I delete it from YouTube, can't watch it if they don't have. So when you set up your YouTube account, right, or your channel, you can add a birth date because it's part of your Google, right? But if you don't add a birth date, anything that's age restricted, you can't watch.
Oh. Man, so we're definitely not there yet, but I just see me and Teresa and everyone just struggling with that all the time.
No, the thing is that I actually thought that somebody may have flagged it accidentally. And then when I appealed it, it would be fine, because they would go back and look at it and review it. That's because it's a manual review, and they said no. I still don't know what I have no idea what was in there that caused that. I mean, listen, if anything, maybe kids should be able to watch it so that they can find out that their actions have consequences. That if you unalive somebody and you get caught, your ass going to prison for a long ass time. But it's the weirdest thing.
Yeah, super
it
weird.
is. Yeah, it was so weird. I have no idea what happened at all.
I guess that one's not going to pay for your new Corvette. Camaro.
No, I'm not going to get a bitchin' Camaro with that ad revenue. Thanks, YouTube.
Damn it.
Thanks, YouTube. Yeah. I mean, it's not that. It's just a weird thing. Like, I'm more puzzled than anything else. I'm not even angry about it. I don't understand, because it's not like when they send you those things, they don't tell you what you did specifically. They just say it violates they didn't even say it violated community standards. They just felt that it would be better if it had age restriction on it, but they don't ever tell you like why. But if you want to learn more, they'll give you a link to the community guidelines and what is age appropriate, what constitutes age restriction, like nudity, obviously, right?
You're all writing back an email. Well, you guess you didn't see my other videos then.
That's the thing. When you appeal that, you don't even have to write anything. They don't even give you an opportunity to write anything. All you do is hit.
You submit.
Exactly. You just want us to do another review and you click OK and that's it. You don't, there's nothing that you can fill out, which was very annoying to me.
Yeah. Oh, I had a copyright claim recently. I wrote an essay. I used every single character.
I would if that ever happened to me, I absolutely would. But this was such a weird, like random video of all the videos that I've ever done, all the content that's on I have 173 videos on my page or on my channel no, that doesn't tell you who flagged you. That's what I don't even know if I was flagged. I have no idea what did it. That's what I thought initially, Kez Chick, because I thought that it got flagged and that YouTube will just automatically just send a message like that to a creator if it gets flagged, right? So I thought, all right, I'll just appeal it. No big deal, easy peasy lemon squeezy. And then them hoes had the nerve to tell me, we're not changing our mind. So
I'd be
mad.
mad too. And they just
'Cause
like don't give you any like outlet to be frustrated.
No. Well, I have this outlet.
I think there's like a person on Twitter that like is like a YouTube helper. And like
Yeah,
do you know who I'm talking about? What I'm talking about? I don't think you don't do the Twitter stuff, but
I do the Twitters. The ward has a Twitter account. Yeah.
Oh really? I don't do
Yeah.
the Twitters. I don't really understand it, but I know that
I understand it. Yeah, I'm not tweeting that. I'm not tweeting her.
Forget it.
I heard she has her hands full anyway. There's
Go
been a lot of There's been a lot of tweets twittered out about a lot of things. So I'm not going to bog her down.
Yeah, bigger fish to fry.
I mean,
Hey,
not
Chick-fil-A.
even. Hey, babe. Not even the stuff that, like, not even the stuff from Anthony Tote. Like that was a whole family annihilation trial. Granted, it was only a 3-day trial, but shit, some of that testimony was graphic.
Oh my god! I remember Shmita came over and was like, or so I think it was, but they came to a what is it? A verdict.
A verdict. The verdict was
literally
reached.
Said, I typed like "be on my way," and then like maybe got a soda, and then by the time I got there, it was already over. I was like, damn.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell? Well, I told Shmita because I got the alert, and so I texted, I sent a message, and she must have gone over there to tell you guys, and yeah, I was like
no time passed in between.
No,
sentencing.
That's the thing. That's what shocked me. I was like, wait, espera. You're already sentencing him? I thought we were going to be,
Don't ruin the moment for us.
Right. I thought we were going to have a little suspense. I thought I was going to have an opportunity to use that freaking intro video that takes forever. Those take forever to make. It took me longer to make that fucking video than it did for the trial. Ridiculous.
Gosh, damn it. My 12-second stinger wouldn't even fit that one.
I like that 12-second stinger. That's a good. You do really good work, Christine. You really do. It's amazing work that you do.
Oh,
amazing. You're welcome. It's true. I don't really compliment. You should. I mean, you're good at it.
I don't know how
you're really good at it.
Crime. I'm just kidding. True crime is like my hobby, and then I just happen to and it works out.
I think that people who are into true crime, I think one of the things that we all share in common is that we're ponderers. We think about things. And I think for most of us, what draws us to true crime is the why. Not why did they do it? But because I've said this like a ton of times. Most humans on the planet are physically capable of unaliving another human being, right? It doesn't take, that's not the problem. We are all capable of it, right? But we don't do it. Mm-hmm. And what I'm always curious about is the people that do cross that line and actually do it.
Why are they I think that people look for the differences so they can reassure themselves. Like, why isn't that person me? She just a couple days ago, she was planning a birthday party, cleaning, and then she drove off a cliff with her. What happened? That's not me for some reason. Let me find the reason why that's not me.
That's what I want to know. What is it in your brain that? Because we all think about things before we do them. Most of us. Big decisions. And I would say unaliving somebody is unless you're defending yourself, obviously that's a split second decision. But pondering unaliving a human being is one of those life choices that you should be pensive about. You got to at least give it 24 hours to think, right?
I'm afraid of spiders. Like I'm like I see a dead body would really get to me. Like I don't know how people make that decision.
I don't understand how they are thinking in their brain that the solution to whatever the problem is unaliving somebody. Like, because whenever I think about doing anything, I run through, not anything, I can be very impulsive, but big things, important things, right? Like I don't spend running time on like what I'm going to have for lunch. I don't run through if then but clauses. Okay. I don't go through the flow chart for lunch, but bigger, more important, like, not unaliving somebody, right? Whether or not to unalive, I would definitely run through the if then but clause, flow chart, right? And I don't understand how they get through that flow chart and at the end of that decide that yes, unaliving is the solution.
Especially like people that aren't like supreme humans, like Anthony taught. Like I'm sure he can't run very fast. I'm sure he can't hide in small places. Like what made him think that he was gonna get away with this?
Sorry, I had to switch because my phone is about to be a low battery. All right, so now I'm back. I had to go on the computer because my phone's about to die. Anyway, Anthony Tote. Okay, I don't clearly. This is what I don't get about him. What was his if then but clause that he ran through? What part of the plan made sense to him to be in the house for that long with his family's bodies? Bodies of a
because
stranger.
if he's gonna make the decision to like do that, then he should probably know whether or not he's gonna be able to make the decision to unalive his own self.
Right.
So I feel like he knew from the start he wasn't going to be able to unalive his own self.
Right.
So that wasn't really the plan. What was the plan?
Yeah, I do not understand the thought process. And that's the part that I'm the most curious about. Then the other part that I like about true crime is the how they how they solved it and how they can the two elements where they're at autopsy, how a pathologist or coroner medical examiner can look at injuries and make such such accurate determinations about what caused those injuries. That to me is what is so fascinating to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's
what I wonder, like if right now, like the world of pathologists are like so like everything that's going, how at Lake Mead they keep finding like the water levels going down and the bodies are like popping up by the day. I wonder if like in the world of pathology, like if we went over to the YouTube community of pathology, if they're all like excited about that, like all these things, like all these different scenarios and like figuring out these bodies,
I feel like there are people that are excited about it. And the thing is that YouTube is such a huge place that we are not running into all of the people who are excited about it. So we have to we'll run into them eventually. I'm putting this TikTok link in the chat for Heather, whatever, from SoCal Megapint. She said that she wanted to share this TikTok. She can't share links in the chat because YouTube doesn't allow that unless you're a moderator. So there you go. Totally off topic, but I didn't want to forget to do that. But I feel like we're kind of commingling around a really small pond as far as the true crime community on YouTube goes. And but the creators that talk about stuff like this don't usually go live. So they just usually do videos. So it makes it difficult to interact with with true crime fans the way that we're able to do it over here. because they don't do a live. And I think that's what brings, but I'm curious about
Do you
all
know?
that kind of
I
stuff.
went. I'm in like a missing and unidentified persons group in Facebook, and I went
Mhm.
over there and I I just found a good thread one day, and I totally poached a pathologist
Mhm.
that like specializes in like I don't know, something super interesting and like antique bones and like specifically these kinds of bones and stuff. And I went and poached her. I was
Oh.
like, "Hey, we would love it if you would join our group." And she did.
Did you? See, that's the thing that I will say for you and Teresa are good about that stuff. Hey, Karen. I am not really proactive about that kind of thing. Like I typically stay off of Facebook really. I mean, I'm in Teresa's group and I participate sometimes in there, but not as much as I stopped participating with Facebook for a while, a
Yeah.
while ago. And it's not that I don't like it. I actually do like Facebook. The thing is that um I prefer YouTube in that you don't have to have your full government name. They don't require that. I feel like it's intrusive for for Facebook. It's okay if Facebook had stayed in its original form with no groups, just people connecting with people from their past or even like their neighbors or
Mhm.
whatever. If it had stayed that way, then I don't see a problem with requiring you to have your full ass government name. But when they started introducing groups and pages, particularly on, it doesn't really even matter what subject it is, but
Mhm.
um, I don't think it makes me nervous. It's like with true crime. If I were to be a serial unaliver, I would troll, I
Oh
would look at Facebook groups because the thing about what people don't think about is they think they're being, oh, I've got my profile locked down. Oh, I'm safe. But there are things that people, I learned this watching ID Network. There are things that people say in Facebook groups, in their posts, on their own pages that give hints as to where they are, and they
yeah.
don't even know they're doing it. And so, it's if you think about it that way, that's what makes me that's what unnerves me about being in a Facebook group with my full ass government name. Because I don't just be you can always see the members list, that's true, right? But that doesn't tell you anything.
Yeah, I really learned that the hard way recently, and my full government name was not on Facebook.
Mm.
Like after I became part of like the groups and YouTube and stuff, and I
Mhm.
was just my first name, middle name, and but yeah, I've recently learned the hard way that
Yeah.
that sucks, like to
It's
have
yeah, it is.
because you can't just
It's
like
scary.
it's like it could carry over into your life, into your real life, whether you think you can right now or not, but like it can definitely impact your actual life.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
It's
wanna
not just a
answer
hobby
Molson Man.
anymore, it's like
No, it's
something
not.
real.
Exactly. Um, Molson Man, yes. Okay, so if I'm remembering correctly about, Candy Montgomery, I believe that, she was, stabbed to death, and, they sort of were, blaming it on before they knew what had happened, right? Their initial impressions, they said it looked like something from Friday the 13th. Am I remembering that correctly? I think I remember that one. And I did see that Hulu is doing that. Um, I wanted to tell you guys also before I forget that HBO Max is doing The Staircase, and it's got Toni Collette from Sixth Sense. She was the mom, and then who plays?
Is that the author one?
Yes, the
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Peterson case, Kathleen Peterson. I
Mhm.
cannot remember. Hold on, let me hit up the Googles because you'll know as soon as I say his name, you guys will know who it is, and you'll remember him. But let me just see. No, not this one. I want the other one. Hold on. This one. So it's Colin Firth, Tony Collette. I didn't realize Sophie Turner was in this. Wasn't even paying attention. I feel kind of stupid. Huh. Anyway, they're doing it. Yes, Molson Man. I remember that now. Yes, it was. Yeah. I remember. And Jessica Biel is playing, is going to be in it. It's completely, it's a
Jessica
crazy
Biel.
crime. Justin Timberlake's wife.
Yeah, I haven't. I haven't seen her in a while.
No, she was busy doing The Sinner. Not just being, obviously the first season she starred in The Sinner, but the subsequent season she's the director and producer, I think. So she had that project. Plus she's a mom, and I'm sure Justin Timberlake has a full-time job. So bless her heart.
Hopefully she's keeping it that way.
I hope.
That's a really good movie though, the staircase one. I like
Yeah,
that
but I started watching, so it's going to be a limited series, obviously, and it'll be a weekly series. But I don't remember what day of the week the new episodes air, because they do the first 3 episodes first. So and I've watched I made it through the first one, which I only because I got distracted because I had to go live, that I got interrupted, that I stopped because it was really good. The other thing that I'm watching on Hulu is Cripes. I never can remember how to say this because it's also Under the Banner of Heaven. So this one is it's got Andrew Garfield. He played Spider-Man. He was also in what's that, Under the Silver Lake, that movie. It's kind of out there, that movie. It's really good. It was an independent film, but it's really good. He's in it, and it's basically about this this family of Mormons, and the Lafferty family. It was the murder of Brenda Wright Lafferty and her baby daughter in a suburb in the Salt Lakes Valley, and it's based on a true story. And
Is that the one with the doctor or no?
No, this one's about the Mormons, where it was they were all they all started out as members of the Latter-day Saints, and then the father went on some mission, he and his wife, and when they came back, they said that they basically had received revelation that they needed to go back to the origins of the faith, which include polygamy and blood atonement, and that it's an extremist, belief. And so the result, the reason that that Betty and her daughter were killed was because Brenda, excuse me, did something, because I'm not to that part yet, and even if I was, I wouldn't want to spoil it, but she did something that was an affront to the faith, to their new faith. So
It
like
sounds kind of fallow-ish.
Yeah. Well, see, it had like so okay, whenever the Mormon religion began, right? It happened obviously here in the United States. And the founder of the Mormon religion, Joseph Smith, said that he received revelation directly from God, and they were these gold tablets, and it was basically what their Bible is based on. Well, one of the revelations that he received was that men should marry multiple women, and that the only way to get into the top tier of heaven, which is celestial heaven, you have to have more than one wife. And but bigamy is against the law in the United States of America. So the Mormon Church stopped practicing that part of their faith. And
Uh-huh.
but there are people that are considered fundamentalists that have branched off. So like Warren Jeff's group branched off
Uh-huh.
from that, and they've gone back to the fundamentalist ideology. Cody, the
Yeah, that
sister
sister
wives,
wives.
yeah, they are a different kind of fundamentalist, but they are fundamentalists too. So yeah, but that's what this is about, and it's fucking epic. It is really well done, and I am really enjoying it. It's a sad story, obviously, but yeah, it's something worth checking out for sure. Absolutely. The
I have a
Staircase.
hard time watching shows now because like instant has ruined it for me. Like
Mhm.
this is what we were talking about. Like remember like on Friday nights it was what was that called? Where they had the 4 blocks of shows. It was like Full House, Step by Step,
Oh,
Boy Meets World, and
TGI
yeah,
Friday.
TGIF, and Family Matters.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and you every Friday you'd sit and watch. Well, like now, like Netflix or whatever, that's what I have, puts all the shows, and you can just sit there and watch it all at once. And like we do, I do,
Yeah,
and
I do
then I have to
too.
wait 18 months for the next season. So it's really frustrating for me.
Yeah, it is. But what I will say for Hulu's part is that they don't do that. So whenever they introduce a new show, they will show premiere it with like 2 episodes, and then it's
Mhm.
an episode a week after that for however many episodes there are. So they do make you wait, which in some respects is helpful because when I find something that I like, and I have the opportunity to watch the entire ass season, I will watch the entire ass season. And
Mhm.
then I have a whole regret spiral after. So
Yeah.
I'm like, "Why did I
Me
fucking do
too.
that? Why
I
didn't I pace
recently did that with the
myself?"
show. It was called I forget what it was called, like The Other Place or something. And
Mhm.
it was like
The Good Place.
is that the one they like because
Yeah.
there's two kind of similar ones, but like they like downloaded or uploaded into like this other
Oh.
like their what's it their brain, whatever, was like
Oh, oh,
preserved.
oh. Oh,
It
their
was
memories from
like
their
their
brain?
memories, yeah, and
Oh,
like
that's not what
technically
I was
like they could
thinking.
re-download into like the point was like maybe one day we'll be able to re-download into a body, but like so they're basically like in a computer program, like hanging out all day, and it's just kind of funny. Like it
Oh,
was
no, I
kind of an
haven't
interesting
seen that.
concept.
I have to check that out.
Yeah, and so I got all into it, and then at the end, like there's no other season. I mean, there's no more episodes till like next year, and I'm just
Well,
like,
that's how I felt about Mindhunter, because the first 2 seasons of Mindhunter were excellent.
Mindhunter scared
Um,
me.
I thought it was I enjoyed I loved it absolutely complete I couldn't stop.
Everything
And
scares me.
then it was like,
Except true crime.
well, there's not gonna be any more? And every so often, I'll go and search, uh, on Google to see if they've changed their minds because where they stopped was such I mean, it made sense for the show to stop right there, right? For that season to stop right there, but they stopped with a cliffhanger, as it were, right? And
Mhm.
so that's what's annoying to me. Because in the second season, there's the BTK, and then they they take they veer into the Atlanta child murders. Like season 2 has like 3 different cases in one, but
Mhm.
they stopped, they're not going to make any more. And the other, it's not a documentary, Molson Man. It's a docudrama. So it's yeah.
I don't know how like stuff like that creeps me out, and then like I love true crime. Like that sounds, but there's like literally some things like that are true crime that I can't watch. Like it'll just creep me out like big time. Like certain like interrogations and stuff of just like really horrid stuff. Like I can't. Like it will scare me, and so I can't do
Yeah.
it.
Hi, Sky Flash. There are certain cases
That are just
that
like
you hear the minute that you hear you just dip a toe into, right away, this is
Night
not for
Stalker
me.
was kind of one of them for me. Like I can't really watch Night Stalker stuff. Like
See, I wished I hadn't now. I mean, it was a good series. Like it was a good series, but I never really got into Richard Ramirez a lot as far as like his crimes. And
Mhm.
so when I watched that series, there were crimes that he committed that I was not aware of and was
Mhm.
not prepared for. See, like when I watched the Ted Bundy tapes, which Joe
I haven't watched those
Berlinger,
either.
okay, Joe Berlinger did a really good job with those. Joe Berlinger does a really good job frequently. He did all of the Paradise Lost, him and Bruce Sinofsky. Okay, so
Mhm.
um, because I'm familiar with Ted Bundy and his crimes, all of his crimes, right? There were no holy hell moments like there were with the Night Stalker. That I wasn't. I knew. I just wanted to hear what Ted Bundy had to say for himself. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I feel the same way about Ted Bundy and then like BTK. Like some of those just really malicious ones. I'm just not. I can't. Like the
Yeah.
ones where they like or like Golden State Killer, like where it's just like no warning, like I'll like freak
Mhm.
myself out. Like these people were just literally at home and
Right.
locked their windows and like maybe they were even warned that there's like somebody, on and they just didn't know if he was gonna pick them that night. And it's that creeps
Exactly.
me out.
Yeah.
Like
That's a scary one. I mean, that's a real fear, and I think that, there are certain cases that I just can't with. Most of if a lot of them, most of the time it's children. Children are one that's very, very difficult for me, and I think the only reason that I was so, fascinated by the, West Memphis 3 case is because I felt there was injustice there. And
Mhm.
so as difficult as it was to learn the details, um, I felt that if I was ever I really wanted to make a difference. I thought by discussing the case back in the day, that I was making a difference. And I maybe I did and I just don't know it. But at the end of the day, I felt like it was that this knowing the gory details was worth it because I was people were paying attention and,
Mhm.
um, I was bringing awareness, and that's why I could
Well,
get
that's a really good reason to do it. I mean,
Thank you. I
yeah,
thought that yeah, I
that's a
thought
good
that's
reason
why
to
I could
choose to
suck it.
do this.
Yeah, that's why I felt like, "All right, I can suck it up," right? But then, thank you, Karen Mooring. I need to get back to it. There's a few more loose ends I need to talk about, but that's the only child case that I've ever or a case that's involved children that I've ever really
Yeah, I know you
gotten
don't
that
like those
deep
ones.
into because I'm just not a fan of it because
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I do not I just don't. I can't at all.
Do you now want to hear a interesting fact about Christine? Um,
Yes. I would love to
um,
hear an interesting fact about Christine.
this is a good one. So, when I was in high school, so my best friend growing up, I met her in second grade. We were best friends all the way through our 20s.
Mhm.
But in high school, I went to my junior year of high school. I went to school with her. I was having problems like the year before, and I like just wanted to get away. So I actually did like a district transfer, and I went to school with her. So I'd stay at
Mhm.
her house a lot and stuff. And her mom was like my mom, like she, it was just one of those kinds of relationships. She lived about, and I think it's like 7 houses were in between. It was on a different block, like it was around the corner and then across that street. But
Mhm.
7 houses, I think, is what's actually like you can count between her house on a map to where they caught the Golden State Killer.
Oh
Yeah,
my
and
god.
we actually do remember him because he was really, really grumpy and he hated like I don't know, he hated kids, he hated like noise,
Yeah.
and he was anal about his grass. Like so the kids would be playing outside and stuff, like didn't drop your ball on his grass. Like you didn't go on his grass and he was really grumpy. And
Wow.
yeah, and that was the house. And then like, 10 years later they like catch him from there and we were like, oh my god, how many times did we just like walk past the house like no big deal, like on our way to like
Right.
Starbucks, like
Like, you had
wherever.
no idea.
No idea. No idea. He was just he was a grumpy asshole man. I remember that.
See, those are the stories I like. Like I like that show on ID, Evil Lives Here. Or any of the ones on ID or on Oxygen where they talk to the people that knew the perpetrator. Like when you learn about whenever we heard about BTK at first, right? Everybody was saying, or just we got the reports that we were hearing were that he had a family, he went to church, yada yada yada. Nobody would have suspected this, right? But then later on, I mean, way later on, like decades later on, I feel like it was ID that did it. Might have been Oxygen. I don't know. One of those shows. They interviewed a coworker of Dennis Rader's when he was a code enforcer. And the thing is the things that she said when they caught him, she was one of the few people that wasn't surprised.
Oh,
She
yeah.
said that he was never a nice guy. He used his authority and power as a code enforcer to be an asshole, and that was like and performing his regular job duties. But as far as like office work, he was he was in a supervisory position, and he was just nasty and nasty in a way that you makes you take pause, makes you pay attention to this person, because it's one thing to be mean, but she said it wasn't mean, it was cruel, and he seemed to delight in the cruelty.
Yeah, like
And
sadistic.
yeah, and so I found that those kind of interviews I find to be fascinating, absolutely fascinating. So
Yeah. I went to high school like with Jeremy Lindstrom, and like he grew up in the same town as I did. I
oh
don't know if you
wow.
recognize that name or not, but yeah. And so I actually did talk to him after he did that interview on I forget, he did like one interview like on that was a podcast. And after that podcast, I emailed the podcast person, and I was like, I just said, oh, I know Jeremy. Like we were both graduated from this high school, and go Bulldogs, and that's a real interesting interview, and it's great to see him and stuff. Anyways, well, Jeremy ended up emailing me back, and like we went back and forth with him and Chad Jameson for a little bit, and I'd have to dig out those emails, but they had all kinds of interesting stuff to say. Just felt like it was,
Wow.
it's just interesting to hear their take on it, like so
Yeah.
out of the blue, and just like we were with him that day, and like hearing it directly from the person, it's just like, even if you read it somewhere else, it's really interesting.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Wait a minute. I'm thinking that who
This
is
is a Watts.
Jeremy Lindstrom? It's he's Watts adjacent, right? Okay.
Yeah, his friend from
I
the
see.
dealership.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's right. See, this is the thing about the Watts case that a lot of people don't know about me. The only thing that really ever interested me in the Watts case was that dadgum 35C. Not because I wanted Chris to get it, but mainly because I recognized almost immediately that Chris Watts was never going to be eligible for a 35C. There was nothing that I had seen from anybody. I could not understand what they were going to attempt to base this 35C on. And that's what I followed for. Not because I was friends with the girls well before I ever spoke anything about the Watts, and they talked about the Watts all the time, and I would listen and I would pay attention, but I didn't do a whole lot of my own independent research. It wasn't one of those cases that just was like, I've got to find out all the things. In fact, what I find interesting about the Watts case is that I was very fascinated with not Gypsy Rose Blanchard, not really her, but Nick Godejohn, and I watched his entire trial. And I remember his trial was interrupted on Law and Crime Network because they were going to cover Chris Watts's his guilty plea. And I was pissed. So, because I knew who he was, and
I came into it around the plea too.
Yeah.
I wasn't really paying attention until then, I guess. But I still think that like pretty early on, I caught on and fell into that hole. I didn't, that not anything
Yeah.
I'll ever do again. But at the time, it was interesting to talk to Jeremy about it.
I mean, that is interesting. I mean, if you have the opportunity to talk to somebody like that, I would definitely do it, Like, I would take the opportunity, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, and I don't feel I don't have any negative thoughts about anybody that was really hooked and still is hooked into the Watts case. There are some cases that just do that to people, and
Mhm.
it's everybody has a case, and for me, it's not the Watts case, it's the West Memphis 3 case, and then I have some other cases that I think about from time to time too that I just don't talk about, but, maybe I should at some point, maybe I will. Anyway,
You know what? The
I
only reason
but
I
I
still pay
get how it
attention
does it.
because I don't want to like ever get so wrapped up in another case that I don't want to invest all that time into like learning other cases. Like I'm just gonna take the newses and the credible sources word for it. I don't want to get all involved again. So like sometimes like when I'm just like trying to like veg out or just like relax or something, like it is just easy for me to like go back and look at stuff from the Watts case just because I know it already and I don't want to learn a new one.
Oh, well, yeah. See, I
So-
don't know the Watts case like you guys do. Like, I don't know all of the details. Because like I said, my main thing was that 35C. I will never forget hearing, "Oh, Chris Watts is going to apply for a 35C." And it's not a term that you hear frequently. So of course, where does Jen Lou go? She goes right to the Googles. So I went to the Googles and I didn't just read one source. I mean, obviously it's a Colorado thing. And so you have to read, shit from Colorado. It's only, but I read everything that I could find about a 35C. And then as more started to come out, and what people were saying this 35C was going to be based on, I kept thinking to myself, that doesn't qualify. Just if it was available to his defense team at the time of the plea deal, then it's not new evidence. When they talk about new evidence as it pertains to a 35C, it is new evidence. The cops don't know about it, and neither did the defense. It's completely brand new. It isn't DNA testing or anything like that, because that's not new evidence. The evidence was always there at the time of the plea. And for the life of me, I just could not understand why there was anybody that was actually thinking that he was. Okay. And then I started learning more about Chris Watts. And then I realized, well, I don't even think Chris Watts himself wants a 35C, because I have always, I kind of have always felt that the reason that one of the main reasons Chris Watts took the plea deal was because of Dodge. Because Chris Watts knows damn right well, if it had been anybody else, right, that committed the same crime he did under the same circumstances, all of the things being equal, they would be serving the rest of their days in a maximum security prison, period. But Chris Watts is sitting at Dodge, which is a diagnostic center, and it's other things too, but it's not big boy prison. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the reason why he took that plea deal. I think that was part of it, that he was going to be going to Dodge.
Yeah, I have all kinds of opinions, but I don't talk about them.
Sometimes it's better that way.
Yeah,
Sometimes
I don't talk
it's better
about them
that way.
because it's my opinion. I came to these conclusions by myself. I've obviously done like more research about it than I've ever want to admit.
Yeah.
And I'm not want to argue with anybody. So I just don't.
Yeah, see, that's kind of how I feel about now I will debate with people about the interpretation of the evidence in the West Memphis 3 case, because the evidence is there. But but the difference is there's some evidence that it's not open for interpretation, like the DNA results. That's not because that's just science, and you can't. It'd be like arguing that 1 + 1 is not 2. It's ridiculous. But the other parts of the case file, that like the interviews and stuff like that, that is subject to interpretation and perception. And I'm always willing to listen to the other person. But what gets me frustrated is a comment like, supporters just don't like law enforcement.
Like when the
Okay.
flat earthers come into the true crime chat, like, stop.
Right. Like, it's just, well, how okay, you're making such a huge general statement about towards me, right? But you have clearly not watched any of the content that I put out, because it's not what I think. And I've given, you know what I mean? So that's the part I'm I'm willing to debate the case, but I say that with the caveat of this. I have
must
done
be
so much research on this case that it's very
hard
the
to find
chances
somebody.
I know, I just want to warn people. The chances of you giving me a compelling enough argument that it's going to make me change my mind, that's going to make me go against all of the research that I have done, is
Yeah.
very slim.
I
But
definitely feel that way about Watts.
I'll listen to you, and I have no problem debating the case, but you're not going to change my mind. And the truth of the matter is, for people who are, it's the same way with people who believe they're guilty. It's very difficult to get somebody who has had a long-term belief that they're guilty, and has done the same research that I've done. They just have a different opinion, right? I'm not going to change their minds, and I can usually tell when a comment is made if they're somebody that's new to the case and has a belief, and or if it's like a lifer like me, and I can tell, okay, I will just give a heart and dip.
Yeah, I totally get it. I 100% get it. For
No,
sure.
Tony, I've never revealed my theory. Yeah, I haven't. There's one thing that I want to do before I even entertain talking about my theory, and I just need to make time to do it, and maybe then I will. I don't know. It's hard for me to want to talk about a theory. I don't know. It's I don't know. I don't know. Maybe someday I will.
There's only one opinion that I would give further weight to about Watts, and honestly, it would be Dr. B.
Yeah.
And it would be regarding recent things, but
Right.
that would really be the only opinion that I would listen to, like with the blank slate. Like, okay, tell me what this is about.
Right. Yeah. No, like they're I mean, I don't know. I think because first of all, the discovery or case file really is from what the West Memphis 3 case is there in total, other than crime pictures of the bodies, right? Everything else is there. Where conversely with the Watts, everything is not there. And for me, this is what I don't understand. It would be very difficult for me to make an educated theory if I don't have all of the information. There's holes in the discovery, and I'm not talking about the stuff that they normally leave out, like autopsy photos, stuff like that. But there's other parts of the investigation that were not released as part of the Freedom of Information Act. And what I'm curious about is if those pieces were added to the discovery, how would people feel then? People that are very staunch in their beliefs, and there's nothing that you can say or do to change it, right? If they were to be able to view the discovery as a whole, in its entirety, if it would change their mind. That
And, like,
I
what
would
if
be
there
interested
was
in.
like new science that like could mix, like, with those pieces added in, and there was science recently, put into like medical journals and stuff, like, would that bring cause that the 35C or whatever would be on it? Like, but it's just not even something that's comfortable to get into because the people are so adamant on their opinions, and it's
Right. It's not, it's a discussion that's best kept between close friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not a big, not on a stage, like not on YouTube. like on a stream, because it evokes such a visceral response from people that
Mhm.
it's not, really.
That's just one of those ones that if like all the YouTube streets are gonna like connect, they just have to agree to disagree.
Exactly.
We all have our own
Exactly.
bodegas. Okay, get your sandwich somewhere else.
Right. You don't got to come over here. Just stay where you're at over there in your burrow and leave us alone.
Yeah, like we agree to disagree. It's
Right.
fine.
Right. Like you don't have to go full scorched earth because I don't believe the same thing you do. I promise you. I probably had different opinions on than you on a lot of things, and you just don't know it, and it wasn't an issue for you before, but now all of a sudden it's a huge deal breaker. Yeah, I don't
I
get
have a
that.
question. So because I don't know much about the West Memphis Three, like what other creator what other creator really followed did that one that like you would say like matches? It would be a good debate. Like whether you agree with them or not. Like who else did a lot of covering that? Anyone?
I'm trying to think. I'll have to get back to you on that one, because that's not how I learned about the case way off back in 2001 or so there was no like this YouTube wasn't a thing, and I haven't really. Well, I will say this. One of the things that I find frequently with people who cover the West Memphis 3 case is a lot of retelling of the overall presentation of the case without going into too much detail. And I don't ascribe to the thought that the whole reason Damien Eccles was questioned in the first place was that all of this had to do with satanic panic, because the evidence in the case file doesn't bear that out. The truth is, was he questioned the day after the murders? Yes, he was. Okay. But it's what from the case file, it appears to me that the person who was running the investigation at the time, Gary Gitchell, didn't actually consider Damien even a potential suspect until Detective Ridge and Sudbury all did this other like groundwork. They did all the footwork, bringing in a bunch of teenagers who said, "Oh
Is
yeah,
this the one with like the when you what satanic whatever you just said? Is this the one that like
satanic
they
panic."
brought like Marilyn Manson and like the lyrics of like songs and stuff into?
No, Metallica,
Oh,
but
okay.
yeah,
Okay.
Metallica. It was all
This sounds
Metallica.
like it'd be a good one to do a podcast with, and you could have like great tracks. Like you could do like great music and like a really
Yeah,
interesting podcast with.
I just never have. I don't know. I should probably think about that, but yeah. So that's I haven't found. When I decided to cover the case, I thought I was going to do it this one way, and I had an idea in my head. But I did look around at the way the case was presented by other YouTubers, and the thing that I found that was missing from them is the details that are available, but they're not in the documentaries. And so I wanted to bring newer stuff. It's not new, obviously, because the case has been around since 1993, and so is the evidence. But there are interviews and parts of the investigation that don't get talked about in the in any of the documentaries. And those are the parts that I wanted to discuss, because I think there's, because it's not new. It's just that not very many people had heard them before. And I remember when I started doing it, people would come in and be like, "I've watched everything there is to watch on this, and I never heard that before." And that's when I decided to take it in that direction. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like all like the really rich details. Like
yes.
Mhm.
To give a fuller picture of why I believe that they're innocent. I didn't just make it up, and I didn't just say to myself, well, I in 1993, I was 16 years old. I liked Metallica. I liked grunge. I wore black. Okay, that they were
Did you?
targeted. I did. Yeah.
Oh.
I'm the same age as Jason Baldwin. He's like 4
How
months
about
younger than
I
I
wouldn't
am.
have I wouldn't have
Oh yeah, I
that's
was a
interesting.
total. Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was totally into grunge. Absolutely. I have
Fun
an
fact.
extremely eclectic music taste too, so I wasn't just into grunge. I was into all kinds of stuff. But I wore the oversized shirts and the jeans that were 27 sizes too big. Why? I thought that was a good look.
Did you
I'll
like
never
brush your hair really
understand.
straight down in the middle? Like
Yes, of
very
course
straight
I
straight?
did. Uh-huh. Yeah, it
Wow,
was.
that's interesting.
Yeah, I did all
For
the
your whole
things.
teenagers, or like did you switch it up or?
Probably from like 9th grade, 10th grade. Um, by the end of my sophomore year, going into my junior year, the only thing that changed really for my aesthetic was that I quit wearing my jeans 17 sizes too big. And I started wearing like the button fly 501 Levi's. I wore those a lot. And but yeah, my dress, that's about all that changed as far as that. My taste in music didn't change. I always had straight. I always blew dry my hair straight. Everybody used to say I look like Winona Ryder because I have the dark hair and dark eyes and the pale skin. And so yeah, that was me back in the day. But that's not what caused me to identify. I just thought that there was a miscarriage of justice because the facts of the case didn't match the confession, and that's where I started. The known facts, so yeah, but anyway,
That
I've
is
been
an
on here.
interesting one. We should totally, yeah, we should. I'm sorry, I feel like I monopolized your
No,
whole
babe,
thing.
you're not.
But
No, you haven't. I
we
like
should
our
really
little
think about
chats.
doing that like a podcast thing because that's an interesting one. Like
I should
and
do
you
a
can like
podcast
go like
about it.
deeper. You don't
Yeah,
have to like be
I
so
don't have to.
rushed.
Yeah, I don't, and I also don't have the censoring constraints that YouTube. I mean, for the most part,
Mhm.
you can get away with a lot on YouTube, but
Mhm.
I wouldn't have to censor myself. Like I wouldn't have to use the term essay. I could actually say the word.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that podcasts
However,
are like a thing that like are like I know they're big now, but like I think they'll only get bigger. Like I try to like yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I should listen to that. I mean, or look into that. I should.
I
I
mean, you don't have to do it
maybe it's
tomorrow or
good.
anything, but
Well,
yeah,
no,
put
I'm
it
not.
like on
No,
the
I
like
can
maybe
tell you
list.
right now. Tomorrow, I'm telling you right now, it's not going to be tomorrow, and the rest of May is not looking good either because my schedule is very full. Look, the first part of the next season of Stranger Things comes out May 27th.
Yeah, we
So
have prior engagements.
I
But
have,
you know,
yeah, I
just
have
put it out
prior
there, put it on a
engagements.
post-it, pin it, put a pin in that.
I should. I mean, it's not. Yeah, I'm totally gonna do that. That's a good idea. I never even thought about that. So you come up with some great ideas, Christine.
Thank you.
You're welcome. See, that's
We
why
bring out the
it's
best in
important.
each other, Jen. Thank
I
you.
know. I love it. That's why these kinds of conversations are important, right? Because you get me thinking about things that I hadn't considered before. You know what I mean? On
Yeah.
even like just when we're talking true crime, your perspective on a case, you make me think and pay attention to things that I didn't notice before and didn't pay attention to before. And you get me
Oh,
to think,
that's
which I
cool.
like.
Cause sometimes I think that like people don't want to talk about this, but like I think also some maybe they do. So.
Yeah, I do anyway, but I better get off of here because I'm going on 3 hours and
Okay.
I gotta get up early tomorrow.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, no,
Good
we gotta
night.
go. Good night, you guys.
Thanks for having me, Jen.
You're welcome, babe. Thanks for coming up.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. All right, you guys. So, we've been on for 3 hours. We've talked about a incredible amount of things. And now your girl is tired and I'm going to end this. I want to thank everybody for being here. Thank you to the mods. Thank you to chat. I appreciate it. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you guys for always being here to support me. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. All right. Good night, everybody. Y'all be safe out there on these YouTube streets. Okay, bye.